Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to this week's GKP Live. Hope everybody's well and hope everybody's good. And just in the nick of time, we have our Rick here. Daz should be joining us very shortly. Usual thing, guys. We'll be right back after this.
Hello.
Around the back of you while I'll be sitting on there, so that's fine over there.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time, Daz. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah. I'm just getting my trifle.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
Priorities,
bloody hell.
name. Get yourself sorted out with a prize full. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Welcome back, everyone. You had a good week?
You sound very quiet, Gaz.
We sound very quiet again. I'll hang about.
You sound very quiet, yeah.
There we go. How's that? That's got to sound better.
sounds good
And
to
my
me.
wife just said in the background, Gary sounding quiet. That would be a miracle. Thanks, Marie. We have got Rick. He is with us, unless he's been.
Yeah, but he's probably just going opening a can, isn't he?
Yeah, or he's getting into his Halloween costume.
There's many.
First of all, if it starts to bounce it down like it did earlier on here, I will be muting my mic because it was proper chucking it down, and nobody else could hear me other than the sound of the rain. So if it does kick in, let me know, and I'll flick back and knock it off and turn down the sound a bit. Does that sound a bit more clearer now? Can you hear me a bit better there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's a little bit better.
Just because I'd been sneaky, I'd pushed my mic out of the way while I went to go, popped in the bathroom before we kicked off. How's your week been?
Yes,
Easy.
but good.
Good. So where are we then, Vince? This looks like a new environment. I'm not sure of that area.
Other than Skeggy, the first person to get it right, I will send a twisted coin.
Ooh.
So that means you're definitely not at Skeggy's.
No.
But Skeggy does know where I am, so he better keep his mouth shut.
Can we have a series of quick fire questions?
Guesses.
You can have 3.
Free, male or female?
3.
5.
No, that's it.
Oh.
YouTuber, non-YouTuber?
YouTube, yes.
YouTube, yes.
One minute.
Non-you.
One more question.
Is it when you said
Sorry.
it was right,
Steve
when you
there.
said yes to both? Does that mean both are YouTubers?
No, only one.
That's the free question.
That's my free Gondels.
Oh, I got 3.
Yeah.
No, 3 questions. That's it.
Who would live in a
Yeah, I
house
just
like
used all
this?
mine up.
So we're a YouTuber.
Yep.
Nip and Koi.
Nope.
Damn it.
Seska,
Nope. That's you two out.
your turn,
Go on,
Rick.
Rick. You've got one guess, mate. 3 questions to find out and identify where
Yeah,
Vince is,
no,
and he'll send
you've
you a
blown
free
the 3
mug.
questions.
Oh, bugger.
Where's Vince doing what?
Where in the
Vince
world is Vince?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Boys.
Nope.
Ooh,
Oh,
that would a
good guess, though.
actually.
Yeah.
Good guess, that. Well, absolutely no idea. Answers on the
So it's down,
postcard,
it's
guys,
down,
and post
down
them
to the
too.
people watching now.
Yeah.
If you can guess where I am, then I'll send you out a twisted coin mug.
There, the Skeggy just said, "Come on, guys! If you follow the channel, then it's easy."
Whose channel?
Exactly.
Ah,
That's just dropped me in shit.
That me.
Yeah, well, sorry if I don't follow your channel. Can't follow them all. Not enough hours in the day. Not Tony's.
nope.
So they've had
No, he's going through the chat at the moment.
That lady in the background needs to speak a little bit higher, a bit louder, so it might give it away. Oh, there we go. Well, wherever Vince was is no longer there anymore.
Sorted.
There we. That's it. Problem solved.
Back to all the shit.
He's lost in the internet. That's where it is. He's back.
My
Well,
bad, pressing the wrong button. The lady in the background is actually Susan.
Oh, right. Oh, damn it. Sorry.
I won't help us then, does
That
it?
doesn't help any either. Right, well, let's go through a quick few of these and see if Tony's Farmer McCoy from My Boys, Josh and Marks from Gary, Kerry Coy from Gary S, Hertz Coy from Paul Audley.
when it comes up.
This could go there. Jig says Cuttlebrook. I see in the background.
Jig
I can't
says
think of
what?
where.
Cuttlebrook.
Cuttlebrook. Are you in the Big Brother house on Tokyo 1?
No, I'm fucking not.
Oh, oh dear. Life around the Koi Ponds?
Nope.
No, there's no way. There's no way Vince is travelling all the way up to Bradford.
No.
Too far north for Vince is that. Sharpie's Koi says, "You at mine, Vince? Hang on. Let me have a look out the window."
That's Sharpie. Are you at mine, Vince? Just look out the window.
Amanda says Will's Koi.
Nope.
Bingo winner. Oh, hang about. Somebody's got it right. Fenland Lass.
No.
God damn it. Westcliff Koi.
Yes.
There we go. Westcliff Koi. Kevin
Who was
Smith.
that?
Kevin Smith, you have earned yourself a one-off limited
Twisted Koi
edition
mug.
Twisted Koi mug.
So you'll have to go to my channel, go to my channel description, the email address in there, drop me an email. I will send you out a Twisted Koi mug. Yes, we are at Westcliff Koi.
Are they joining us this evening?
No, they're watching.
Oh, so you're in their garden, they're in the house watching.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to make an appearance, then we'll come on and we'll give the channel a shout out. We'll give them a share as well.
Ron's on his nebulizer thing for his COPD at the moment. So.
Right. Well, let's if Vicky or Aaron
Well,
can do me a
it
huge
gets.
favour, can you just Google Westcliff Koi and shout their channel out? Or we'll be giving them a shout out. But if you could post a link for us, and we can hopefully direct a few. And while we're on the subject of directing a few people to channels, come on.
Just borrow his nebulizer mask and I could become Darth Vader.
You could, yeah. The Twisted Vader. I was just giving him death grip then. Sorry. If everybody's a Star Wars fan, you know what that meant. Right,
Did you get any ponds empty today, Rick?
One big one. The big one.
You did a big one. And then the pond. Yeah.
That's why you were late.
I wouldn't have had a malfunction with the chili sauce.
Oh, see, you've been smearing that shit on everything. I'm not surprised.
No, not me. Ez tried it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he was brushing his teeth, wiped his eye, and then.
Oh, God damn. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all, is it?
Yeah, I've done that before.
I've done that before as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blamed it on the toothpaste. It's all right.
You know what's bad though? When you're cutting like chilies or you're cutting onions and you wear glasses, because the fumes kind of get stuck behind back of your glasses and you can't get rid of it. It's bad. But you got to keep them on so you can see what you're doing.
Well, yeah, Rick actually got told off for the chili sauce he made because it stunk the whole house out. Was burning everyone's eyes.
Was those Scotch bonnets? Because the video when you did it, right, I don't know if you know, but I don't know if it's you that did the shot yourself. Did you know that on the bottom there's a button that says volume, so you can turn your talking volume up and your music volume down a little bit, so that you can still have the music playing but still hear you talking. Because when you were talking, you couldn't hear what you were saying. But I guessed it was maybe a Scotch bonnet that you were holding up, going.
No, they're Carolina Reapers, I think.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Well, when we did the selection of the YouTube Community Choice yesterday, and we did it live, I did actually put out to the people that were watching, if someone will eat one of Rick's big chilies on film, I will send them a couple of mugs and some other bits and pieces. But no one took up the challenge.
I'm not surprised.
And I don't blame him either. I mean,
Yeah.
jalapeno, or what is it? Jalapeno?
Jalapeno, yeah.
Jalapenos, fuck, them things are too hot for me.
Yeah, they're evil.
That's my limit on one of them, man. I'm done.
Honestly,
No
them
thanks.
big things he's got one. Well, I say he's got one. Carl's got one that he's got by the desk. And he keeps picking it up and looking at it and going, no. Put it back down again.
McCoy says, send me one, I'll do it. There you go.
You're
Challenge
on.
accepted.
Challenge accepted.
You're on. Got to
It's
be
been
done on
nice,
video
hasn't
as well, though.
Aaron?
I can't do it. I can't do heat. Me, when I was a kid, if I ever ate anything spicy or hot, I used to get blisters in my mouth.
Yeah, ruins a perfectly good meal.
I tried. Marie made me a pizza, and it only had a few on it on top. And I thought I'm going to give it a chew and give it a good taste. Normally, I just like try to chew it as fast as I can to get rid of it, just because it's hot. So I thought I'm going to chew it to see if there's any taste to it, and that were it, man. That were done. My head was sweating a lot. I thought, God damn, that tastes rank.
honestly,
Can't do
he had a chicken slice that he basted the top of the slice with his homemade chili sauce that you can smell it as soon as you open the jar. Then put heaps of fucking sandwich chicken on top, and he's there chowing down on it. And I'm like, what a word.
No. See, Dave from
He would
DT
spread it on
Coy.
his fucking toast.
Dave from DT Coy's got this little box, and inside this little box is a pair of rubber gloves and a packet, and inside that one packet is a Dorito, and that Dorito is the Hot Crisp Challenge. And he says, "Come when you come over to do the pump switch with us, we'll do it." I'm like, nah. So we thought, I'm going to give it a quick Google and see what it's like. When I saw some guy in a car park in America, damn near dead on a respirator, breathing in oxygen, he was damn near, he was throwing up in the middle of car park and everything. Like, no way I'm touching that, Dave. No, it's not happening. No thanks. I'll leave you to do it on your own. Not happening. Can't do spices or heat meat.
No, me neither.
If anybody has got any questions they would like to ask this evening, if you could do me a huge favour, I know Vicky's just shared it there. If you could type it out in capital letters, it makes it a little bit easier, and then I can spot them as we go down and go through them. We'll have a quick introduction, say hello to a few people or everybody, and as we go through the rest that I miss, I will just pop them up on the screen. We have got some questions which we missed off with last week, and we'll start off with them ones. We've got 2 for this evening, so we're 3 from last week. So we've got a couple of little topics to talk about, but we also have the Gosh gift for the Koi Appreciation Hour, which is one I'm been looking forward to because see, me and Aaron were talking earlier on, and I thought, as he said, I like Goshkis, but I don't, because the ones that I like are too expensive, so I can't afford them. Because a very good looking Goshki is normally a really expensive fish, aren't they? And they don't tend to.
Well, they're few and far between.
No.
I know someone on the panel that breeds some absolutely fucking stunning Goshki.
Exactly. I was just going to say exactly the same. Yeah, it does. I was just going to say it same. I know Rick's obviously. Oh, Rick, did you get my picture? Did you get my little picture that I forwarded you with the dibs at the side of it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no problem, mate. You can have it.
What do you think to that? I think that's nice. That's a nice fish.
I think it's not. I think that's.
This off your video, Vince. I screenshot it as I was watching it. Sent him a picture. You know the one of the 6, the one that had like the spotted pattern down it.
Yeah,
like the number 1 fish from the entire breeding. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Just that one. Yeah, dibs it, Vince. Got it in there, mate. I know you didn't put it in video, so I thought I'm sending it before everybody else does.
Got no shame.
I did try it, and I got told to fuck off quite a few times.
He hadn't replied back to me, and he just said, "Yeah, the number 1 fish, it's yours." So there you go. Wait. Does that mean
I'll keep it till it's no good? It's yours, then.
Are you going to do what you said then? Are you going to perhaps maybe try grow those best 6 on and put them back to parents, or are you going to try a bloodline from them?
Yeah, that's what we do with everything. That's why we got so many. We keep on until
got some good growth.
Yeah,
some good size, that, isn't it?
Good size compared to normal Goshki.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was watching Ricky Stoddart's, one of Ricky Stoddart's videos. He's one over in is it? I don't know if I'm going to say this wrong. Is it NDA?
NND.
NND. NND. We were over there at their koi farm, and they were going through with the kahakus in his pond. Started off with 60,000 fry put in at this sort of size, and in 108 days he got some of them to 30 to 30 odd, 33, 34 cm in 108 dries. Obviously from that size, so they're probably maybe 4-week-old fry, maybe 5-week-old, and then grown out in mud pond and gone from 60,000 down to I think it was 250, and then selected through again for 125 that they're gonna. That he said was his tatty guy. And the ones that he was selling off, he sold some to Rick, and the rest of them are going back in to be grown on and produced for, as he said, banging quality, top notch. I mean, they look really good. No, they're good. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, it's well worth a watch.
I did watch it, yeah. They're 20 to 25.
Fluent Japanese as well, doesn't
it? Not fluent.
You not think? Well,
Fujiomo does, yeah.
Certainly a lot better than mine, anyway. That is for sure.
But yeah, no, they're good. They're good stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Because obviously
He's normally known for his shower, though, isn't he?
NND have got all sorts going on, but the Kahaku line, they were known for producing really high quality smaller fish, and now they're going into the bigger stuff. So the Shiros. So they're taking Amasako Shiros that are good to do the Shiros, and buying high fish to do the Sankeys and whatever to get the volumes.
He was saying that he can't wait to see these at 75, 80 cm, 85 cm.
No, they look
stunning.
really
Good.
good.
Good fish.
They look really good. Yeah, but they were 20 to 25 cm, 108-day-old, very similar size to what the biggest ones we were done. But
we harvested
60,000 to 150, and we've gone from 3,000 to 150. Different ball game.
Down to 60.
So, as a quick question for you, Rick, what do you think caused the mass drop off in colour on those?
It's you get it to a point anyway, but whenever your stability of Benny's a nightmare, and the faster you push it, the worse it becomes. So,
is it heat then that's done it?
Damn it.
Partially, no, not so much heat. Heat will ruin the weaker ones quicker, but the stability by crossing from two varieties like you're weakening it inherently anyway. So you'd expect a greater drop off. So had that been our pure line of Goshki, we'd have had a lot less drop off, but a lot less growth across the board. So it's just.
Do you think any other colour will come back on them, or do you think once it's dropped off as they have, that's it? They're going to be washed out.
That's it.
Benny's gone. It normally, isn't it?
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gone again.
I gone again. Be right back.
Stop fiddling with that cable, Gaz.
Back to front as well, look.
Yeah.
But there was some absolutely stunning fish that came out of there yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good for people to see it. It's not all bed of roses, is it? A lot goes on.
I was surprised at the depth of the pond as well. It was pretty shallow, wasn't it?
Very shallow, that pond, yeah.
Yeah.
All the high ponds are shallow.
Yeah. Did you do that one extra shallow for a reason, or was it just the look of the draw?
No, it's just easy to get surface area is king for fry. So they're big and shallow.
So that was more for fry.
A lot easier, yeah. They're all for fry. I mean, those went in as newly hatched fry. They've stayed in longer and got bigger just because they've been split down and.
They've stayed in that pond from the get-go. Them ones, haven't they?
Those ones, they split between the ponds, but yeah.
So primarily down to the forced growth then, because you've pushed them hard there and there.
It exposes the weakness in them. So some of the ones that haven't lost their pattern that are smaller, as they get older in 2 or 3 years' time, get to the same size, will have the same problem. So you're just exposing that weakness. But by crossing two varieties, you're always going to create that to some degree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you to create the Goshki in the first place, it'd have been those that have got the thicker and more stable Benny again and again and again to create that good floating Benny, but then they don't grow.
I mean, how do you create a Goshki in the first place? It's Kahaku crossed with...
The originals were Kahaku Asagi, apparently, but you're going back 100 years or whatever, and how many generations? So you refine it to get that insane sort of characteristics you're looking for.
Yeah.
Apparently, they sort of generally get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So you have to do, change stuff up, do something different. It's not all about growth. It's not, we weren't doing it for growth, otherwise you're crossing with, a Krashigoy or something that grows monster.
Yeah.
You'd have nothing selling for the first year at all. You'd have to just keep a few fish for parents. So it's one of those, isn't it? I think some of those fish in that video, there's some really interesting fish amongst them. And
definitely.
Them. But you wouldn't do it from a business point of view. It's not if you went to the bank, I'm going to do this. I need £1 million and I'm going to get, I don't know, 50 grand return in the first year. You go, you don't. It's not. Yeah. From a business point of view, it's not great, but from a learning point of view, and then you have the opportunity, you've got those fish to play with down the line. That's how you do stuff, isn't it?
But that's
you've
what
got a
keeps it
unique
interesting as well, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not just, it gives you a little bit of something to do and a different project to work on and something else to work through, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and some of the parents we buy that you think are a certain thing turn out, when you breed them, you see that actually their genetics have got a lot more mixed up than you anticipated.
Yeah.
And,
Or they're a lot more
good or
reluctant
bad
to breed.
thing. It's,
Do you think you've learned anything from the fry stage of them? Because I know you said a heck of a lot of them was two-toned.
Two-toned.
yeah, they
From day dot. Do you know whether? Well, I know this is a silly question, but do you know whether or not any of those two-tone ones are the ones that colours have carried on through, and any of the others that ones might be ones that have dropped off in the colours?
I don't think it'd be those that are kept it or not, but it gives you a different point. So when you cross those parents in the future, if you get more of those and more of those, you get more fish that go better longer term or develop sumi. They've got some weird characteristics with the way the sumi's developing, and the benny. So it might take 4 generations to stabilize that two-tone effect. So
Evening.
yeah,
Evening all.
he's been out for a jog.
Just a quick one, Simon. How's the fish doing, mate? Any joy? Let us know, bud. Hopefully we'll come across it further down in comments. Sorry, as you were.
But at the same time, though, like you said, you had Goshki there that, had you not spawned them with the Kajaku, would never have got the size they were.
Yeah.
No, not even close. Yeah, the different world. But how good are the few good ones? And yeah, can you? If I've got 1,000 pretty little Goshki at 10 centimetre and 10 of those crosses that look really good at 20 centimetre, can I financially? It's not great. It's not ideal, is it?
No.
But it is fun. That's the whole point of it. That's just the enjoyment of it. And if in a few years I can cross one of them back with someone else and suddenly produce a line that can grow and look good.
Yeah. You got something unique then, haven't you?
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, that was how Golden Corn was created, by doing that process, and that was why he kept it locked away for 10, 11 years before he unveiled it, and even now it's still not a stable variety, is it?
Should have kept it locked away for another 10 years.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? That's what a lot of breeders will do to a certain extent. They play with stuff, and some stuff's good, some stuff's not. And unfortunately, you generally don't see for every 30 breedings we do, realistically 10 might be really good, 10 might be okay, and 10 might be absolute not great at all. But you don't see that the stuff that goes wrong generally. You just see the good stuff.
Yeah. So to be able, like you say, to be able to see that on camera actually shows people that it's not all fucking roses and smiles.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the way it is, isn't it? That's a realistic view. Yeah, we don't do 500,000 fish and sell X amount of thousand as 2-year-olds, 5,000. So there's a massive drop off, and that's coy, isn't it? That's yeah. But you generally only see the success and the good stuff. You don't see many people in the magazine saying, "Oh, I paid 10 grand for this, and now look at it, couldn't give it away." You don't see that bit, but you see this has got better, and I'm going to a show or whatever, or this is amazing, or this breeder's done this, and it's, for every successful thing you see or hear about, there's a lot that aren't, just failures basically, but to different extents.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. I had a friend who actually went over to Japan He paid, I think it was about 3.5, almost 4 grand for a match cowbacky. It was in his pond 2 months, turned jet black, and never changed back.
Yeah.
Wow. Happens.
That's it, though. That's coin, though, isn't it?
It is, mate.
Yeah.
It is. Remember, Daz has had lots where we've thought, that's not so good, and it's turned into something you think, wow. And then there's been ones that we've thought, wow. And in a couple of
Benny's
months,
just
it's
gone.
like
And you're like, "Ugh."
absolute crap. You think, where's that? I mean, you did have a lot. We did at one point, Daz, when you did that last Karku spawn, and we thought, oh my god, there's so many Shuramujis in here, it's unreal. This is like 80% Shuramujis, and I'm saying, Daz, these are all whack, mate. These are crap. And I'm going, we should turn all these out. No, we'll see how they go. We'll see how they go. And now there's absolutely shitloads of Karkus in them. But you wouldn't have thought so. They did all look like Shuramujis, didn't they?
They were quite light to start with, yeah.
Yeah, they've really started to change. It's mad how they can change so much and develop so much.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember the selection on that pond 2.5 months ago, because that was when Susan was with us, and every single fish that got selected to go back into that pond, all 200 and whatever it was, every single one had pattern. There wasn't a fish that got put back in that pond that didn't have a pattern.
Yeah.
So in 2.5 months, 25% literally dropped all the Benny off it completely. There was the odd one or two that had a couple of scales, but you could see straight away that it would end up disappearing anyway.
Yeah.
So it is a big numbers game.
It is, mate. It
Yeah.
is a numbers game. Just bear me 1 second. I got a quick reply back to this. Right then, we've got a couple of topics to talk about, and two of them are a few, which have been talked and discussed about this week.
What's going on?
Oh, shite. Sorry.
Craft, is that a giant TV behind you?
Yeah, man.
It's like your whole kitchen.
I wouldn't call it giant, but yeah, it's a TV. Like it's only.
Is
I
that the one you're giving me for my shed?
I think it's 98 inches.
98 inches, that is my shed.
Complicated much?
Right, some of the questions that we had last week that we missed because we had Alan on as a guest, and thank you very much, Alan, for last week.
Alan's fault.
Yeah, it's Alan's fault. It's your fault, Al. Got us all distracted. But I was proper happy with the fact that he really went to the trouble to mark down and to grade and to score every single fish, man. I never expected him to do and go as far as he did. More of those to follow, guys. Hopefully, in a few more weeks, we should be encourage him to come on again because he's got a taste for it now. As Al, he loves it. We've got winter preparations, and what do we do, or what do we need to do? I'll add to that as well.
Not a lot.
To be honest, Daz, I tend to agree, but in the extent of
but only
not a lot, because we should be carrying on doing pretty much what we've been doing throughout.
But
Well, I mean, it's 18 degrees today. It's nowhere near winter.
Well, we're still in autumn. A lot of people like to skip a season in the UK, but
what about the people that have done nothing because they know not to or don't know?
exactly. Well, that I mean, yeah, there is that side to it. I mean, I personally always think that when you get to the end of your season, you want a good deep clean down. Get everything nice and clean. Make sure that you've moved any lily pots or whatever you've got in the bottom of your ponds, and give your filter system a good deep clean down. Make sure that it's all going into winter as pristine as it can. That way then you can tend to kick back a little bit and relax a little bit more because they're not feeding, they're not making as much mess, not as much waste, but that doesn't still mean that they're not producing anything. They will be producing some, but just not to the amounts that they were. So for me, always starts off with a good deep clean. proper good fail out, good water change, so that when they're going into winter, the water conditions are cock on.
Yeah. The other one is blanket weed. You don't want to go into autumn with blanket weed growth because it will just get worse and worse over the winter. But you've got to get it nailed before it drops below 10 degrees. Otherwise, the stuff doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or if it does, it works very, very slow.
Take it from Daz. He is the master green stuff
He
grower.
is the master of growing blanket weed.
Did you see the length of it on
Even
the last
luminous
video?
green blanket weed.
A luminous green. I wanted to make a skeggy beard out of it.
We've got different varieties of it as well.
Yeah, you have, for sure.
Yeah.
You got the
It's
tough
all
stuff
right,
where you
like
pull
paper.
one bit. The tough stuff where you just pull one bit and the whole pond just keeps coming.
Yeah, that's wicked, that is.
He pulled it off the back panel and just swiped it across and made this mass long. You could have stuffed a pillow with it. There were tons. But it dried out in seconds, in minutes and all. It went from being absolutely soaking wet through to bone dry in a matter of
Don't
minutes.
take long.
Oh, it didn't at all. Crazy.
I mean, one thing that we failed to mention is lagging pipes. It's a must. You know, it's better to get it done now before it gets too cold because it's a crappy job. So, you know, if you've got external pipes and that gets them, you can pay cheap amounts of money for a bit of lagging, or you can put your hand in your pocket and get a little bit more expensive. You know, you get what you pay for. There's plenty of vids on YouTube. Telford Koi Pond done one last year, actually, that was a real good one. You know, maybe OTT, but can you be OTT? I don't think so. You know, it's something worth considering. And also, if you've got windows, start thinking about getting insulation around your windows. And if you're going to cover as well, then you need insulation around your windows. Otherwise, you're just moving a problem. So
You do lose a lot of heat from a pane of glass, don't you?
well, yeah, it's better to have it than not have it. I mean, the only thing that you've got to be aware of, and this is something that doesn't happen, is observing your koi through winter. A lot of people tend to put the covers on, close the windows off, and then, you know, come back in the spring, and at that point the damage is done. You know, sort of massive problem.
Covered in ulcers and
Yeah.
I did hear a few people talking in chats and groups this week when we've had this topic of conversations being in there, and one that was saying that when she actually got to be able to see the fish because she had a good 4 to 5 inches of ice over the pond as well as underneath the covers. But when she could actually see the fish were in such a state that there were no what she could do with them. They were already too far gone.
Yeah, you've also got that dreaded scenario where you sort of ignore the fact that we've had a cold spell, like really cold spell, and you get that sheet of ice over the top of your pond, and you've got external your inlets that drop into the pond. What simply happens is that water just gets dropped onto the top of that ice and slowly, you know, drains your pond out. You know, there was a couple of posts in the winter this year of people that completely drained the ponds after that real cold spell that we had. You know. You know, it's not acceptable.
Should have a flow switch connected then.
Shit happens. Yeah, that's totally true, mate. You know, but shit happens. But if you ignore it, then you know.
You don't know it's going to happen though till it happens, do you? You think you're all in control, and then you're not.
I mean, preparing for the worst just in case is always a good idea. If you're going to lag your pipes and leave your lagging on. If you're going to do it, do a decent, neat, tidy job. So that it's there and it's there all year round. Why remove it? Because
The
not
other thing
only
I'd
does it
say-
act as an insulation in winter, it can also protect them you know, from any knocks, bangs, and bumps and stuff as
If
well.
everything's lagged and insulated, it will also help maintain temperatures better as well.
But if you do get a leak on any of your pipe work, it's a sod to notice if it's behind the lagging. If you lagged over it, that's the only thing with it.
I think for every positive, there's always a couple of little negatives to it.
Well, you just got to do your rounds and check everything every day.
Now,
I
the topic that we had and we talked about was me saying if you were in a unheated pond, that covering up your pond with polycarb sheets is a complete waste of time, and I personally think it is.
Yeah.
My personal opinion on it is that the 1 or half a degree difference that you make to the temperatures of your waters, that minimal, and it far outweighs the cost of the sheeting that you're using to do it.
Yeah,
in my
and the fact that you can't observe your fish effectively.
The other one you were saying, Daz, like a lot of people just pop a polycarb sheet on it, and then winds get up through night, and when you come back, it's blown in pond, and if you haven't protected the edges and the sharp corners of it, and they rip through your liner, and you get up and your pond's half empty. Again, another risky factor of it. The only difference being is protect the corners, put a bit of foil tape around them so that they're not sharp out like that, and making sure that if you're going to put them on, you're weighting them down as well so that they can't.
Yeah, but then if you put brick on or whatever, there's a chance you can still lift that up and lob the brick into your pond. Yeah.
If you're going to cover a pond, it's got to be sealed, like to the point of literally a glass house of polytunnel. Because if you just put a polycarbonate sheet but one end's not covered, well,
pointless.
0 point.
Yeah.
It has to be. If it's not sealed, it's not going to keep any heat in or create any benefit.
So for the fact of, if for example, if you've got a polycarb sheets on but you've left a 2-inch gap so you've got ventilation so that you can gas off, you're pissing it wind because it's just going to literally blow underneath there and still.
There is no any heat's gone in it. It's just you're just going to get the.
So if you were going to do it, the best way to do it is the polytunnel effect with some form of a sheltered area over top with an air source in there that can be warmed up through the morning day's sun, heating up that water and keeping it to that temperature and raising the temp of your pond and keeping it 5 to 6 degrees above. Polycarb sheet straight over top of your pond, pissing it wind.
And it's amazing the difference it makes. Anyone that's got a polytunnel will know the benefits of working inside a polytunnel in the winter. It's toasty in there, yeah. 5 minutes of sun.
You can still end up being in a t-shirt in yours when we've been there. And we've been outside and then going outside and you see steam coming off your arms because it's freezing cold.
You can still use polycarb sheeting, but you need to almost box it.
Yeah, you can build a structure like Tony has done with his netting. Building, for example, prime example, Low Magros pond. She polycarbed a whole shed off, making back polycarb walls and a polycarb front, keeping more warmth in there than what you would do with a couple of inch clearance.
Yeah, a couple of inch clearance, but most people put one sheet on with a couple of inch clearance of it doesn't fit the pond completely. It's just most of it.
Yeah.
And then you've got that issue, like you say, any warm air just plows out one end, you just get like a chimney effect.
You get positive pressure ventilation coming through it from it. Wind in one side and blows it straight out over.
Leaves and stuff off, keeps predators off, but then you can't see the fish. So, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I have got a polycarb sheet.
Perspex rather than
then you can still see through
polycarb, because that way you can still see in. The heat will still penetrate from the sun.
Costs a lot more, and it's more flexible. You got to put framework, and then you're going into a whole realm with someone else, aren't you?
Yeah,
but if you actually look at most people that are covering their ponds with polycarbs, they're all connected to some kind of framework. So if you're going to put a framework in, you might as well put in fucking perspex because you'll get more benefit from it because it would stop the wind from getting on it.
But long term, the perspex will discolour and go white and opaque.
It always opaques, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if you're
eventually.
If you're going to put framework in, you could use polythene sheeting. It costs 20 pence.
Yeah.
From polytunnel cover that you could a section
or even bubble wrap
be cheaper.
Yeah, you can use bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Two layers of bubble wrap.
Mini polytunnel that you can assemble and take down would be far better throughout the winter period. Like some of your mud ponds that you've got, Rick, where they're only a shallow roof over the top of them. I mean, you could probably crouch in them and walk all the way through them, but they are only a shallow area, aren't they?
If you've got that dome, you trap the heat, and B, all the leaf and debris
disperse off.
As soon as you've got something flat.
Oh, talk to me about leaves. God damn it, man. Sick of the sight of them things. Some idiot decided to make a pond with a nice Japanese acer over top of it. What a knob.
Plastic trees, mate. Or talk to Will. He does wire trees.
Yeah, I should just super glue up like needles on before leaves on before they drop.
We
out.
tried to chop all the roots off it for you, Gaz.
Yeah, we're hoping to kill it, Daz, but it hasn't, has it, mate? We've even wrapped its root bulb round in.
Did you see Rob and Chris Sweet's video with the pine needles?
Oh,
No.
they're toxic to water as well, aren't they?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, cow. I mean, 3 times a day she's out there scraping them all off the top of the pond. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing the same, but I mean, I've got 3 oak trees at the bottom of my car park from me, and like the guest car park area, and there's 3 oak trees on there, and with all the wind that we've been getting, I've been going out every morning. I'm thinking, and I twigged on what we're doing. I thought, you stupid knob. I'm just like picking them out, scooping them up, and putting them on garden, and then I'm forgetting. And come back in the morning, all fucking leaves have gone, and they're back in pond. Like idiot. Put them in a bag, Gaz, and then they're gone out there. They're gone for good. I did it twice and all before I twigged on, because when I put my hand in, I thought, God, that's not that bad. That, to be fair. 2 days later, I put my hand in. I thought, Jesus Christ, man, that's like hypothermia if you're getting in there. That was a dramatic difference. Went from 13.5 degrees to 6 degrees.
Wow, yeah.
That's the lowest I've hit already. I've already hit 6 degrees in my
Fucking
pond.
hell.
That's dropped cold. Because I was thinking, yeah, got a bit of blanket weed just starting. It's just starting to get going. I'm getting all off. I'll treat, and I'm like, no, you won't. It's like 6 degrees, so I'm hoping that I can get it warm enough at weekend if it warms up a little bit. And then you get 3 hailstorms like I had the other day where it literally lashed it down, and I thought, quick, get phone out, film that. Right, quick, bouncing down, nuts.
We ain't that
All the
down.
seasons in one day in Huddersfield, mate. I tell you, it's like that all the time.
It's all right down south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shine.
We'll move down south then. Have you got room for another house on that land?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
They joined the fucking list.
Well, it could be neighbours, Vince. We're going to have a massive pond joined together.
Yeah.
Just take one at Mud Lakes. We'll build an house outside of it. Great.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into one of his topics then and see what we've got. Steve Mulligan says he won't be watching the live, but he will be catching up. And he would like to. This question is on Israeli fish. Just want to know what people's opinions are. I think I know the answer, but it'd be a good discussion. What's your opinion on Israeli fish?
No different to
Oh,
any
my.
other fish.
Israeli fish, Israeli koi.
Personally,
exactly.
I won't
This is
have
the
an
reason.
Israeli.
That's why I think it'd be a good, because obviously you've seen it from the shit end, Vince, to people that's not had any difference. So an opinion is an opinion, mate. So what would
Yeah.
be yours on
I-
Israeli?
My personal opinion is I won't have Israeli fish again. And that is purely because, 18 years ago, I took on some Israeli fish and then ended up wiping out all my stocks and ponds with KHV. And it was the only place it could have come from with the Israeli fish.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you only get KHV from Israeli fish. I mean, that's
No.
just
Yeah,
unfortunate.
But Israel are the only country that introduce their fish to KHV to build up an intolerance.
Right.
Is that all right,
They
Rick?
Some of them vaccinate them, but that's not completely true because Hazaria have got a biosecure facility where they don't do that. So half the fish coming from Israel are KHV free. The rest of the fish coming from Israel are vaccinated against KHV. So it's technically say they're the 2 safest sources. Unfortunately, you're in trouble when you try and test for fish that have been vaccinated. They'll test positive, although they're vaccinated and not necessarily carrying the disease, but they might have then come across it and carry it. And then Israel got a lot of bad stick when it all came out because they're the ones that found it and did the research on it. But it didn't come from Israel because it went all around the world, and Japan was the only place shipping around the world. So you can't pin the blame on one country because they're going, we found this disease, and suddenly everyone in the world finds it, and they're like, oh, but we've never had Israeli fish. So it comes back to Japan. Japan never imported fish from Israel, but Japan had KHV. So you can't just blame Israeli fish for that. The issue of Israeli fish perhaps was the way they farmed them, in the fact that they've got seriously good temperatures for growing koi, so they can grow shed loads of koi to a good size really easily, and then they've got to then try and ship them to people that haven't got good temperatures and haven't got, those fish are going from 18 months at 25 degrees to suddenly coming to England and going, wow,
winter.
Wow, this is Yorkshire.
6 degrees, Lotus Pond.
I think Israel got a mega bad press, unfortunately. They did it as a business. They did it from the kibbutz. There was 7 main kibbutz when it was kicking off, and they were shipping a lot of koi. But the whole traceability, the way they were looked after, the way they're prepared for shipping or whatever, they went for a period where they caused problems. And they've kind of rectified that. There's a lot less fish coming from Israel. Most of them come from, like I say, a couple of farms that are not an issue. It's the same where we get them from Israel, Poland, Japan, England, whatever. You buy what you see. If you're starting from a blank canvas, it doesn't make any difference. There's no fighting that Japan are producing the best fish in the world. If you want the best fish in the world, then you buy from Japan. If you can't afford to buy the fish from Japan, then you go elsewhere and try and source cheaper fish that suit what you want. I wouldn't tar Israel with a brush any different to stuff coming from Thailand, stuff coming from Singapore, America, South Africa, Poland, England, anywhere else. Each farm has got different set of protocol, biosecurity,
standards.
Yeah. Do you think, Vince, if you'd have had, let's say all your fish 18 years ago were all from Japan, and you introduced KHV, would you never have a fish from Japan again? More the question of once bitten, twice shy, not necessarily.
Yeah.
So that's what gives you, because I mean, right, let's ask the panel and ask the audience, how many of you out there have got a fish that is in your pond from Israel? I know I have.
I did.
You did? Oh, you did?
When in the early years of my koi keeping journey, I was one of those that seen a koi and wanted to buy it. Didn't really understand, anything about koi, to be honest. It was just a nice looking koi in a garden centre, clearly labelled Israeli koi, etc. I only bought 3, and out of those 3, none of them survived. So one of them was a banging little fish that introduced sleeping sickness into my pond, or it showed the signs of sleeping sickness, and that pretty much knocked some of me stock back. I didn't know what it was at the time. That didn't survive, and neither did a couple of others that had clearly not been exposed to it. One of them was a shower. The Benny fell off that within a year. The other was also a shower. Benny fell off that. It grew to about 35, and then it just fell to bits. It was shocking. So, my experience with Israeli koi could have been my selection. It could have been a bad batch, but one thing's for sure, it's like they'll never grace my pond again, because I think you're throwing good money into bad. If I'm honest, I'd rather know genetics, and if I'm buying from Japan that they've gone through a huge culling process, etc., and when they go in the pond, although be it every fish has got its own sort of life ahead of it, and they can all come with their own problems. I've never experienced the speed that I've seen the Israeli fish against. They seem more hardy. I don't know if that's just luck, but they just seem hardier in the Japanese line. I don't know whether or not that's because.
I gotta play the old devil's advocate and have one on one side and one on the other now. Again, trying to tell me that you've never seen colour drop off a Japanese koi?
No, definitely not. And the kahaku that we got from Momotaro, there was a few. I've saved one for you, Daz, actually.
That's Shuramuji.
This is
It is.
Shuramuji.
I've saved it for you, mate. I'll gift it to you because it's a decent size. But no. It's like, but I can take it that with the eye that I've got now, there's a good chance that you can work out what's going to happen to a fish anyway. I mean, but yeah, I've had fish last year where all the sumi dropped off actually.
Yeah. So then again, another secondary question. This is just because obviously it's a discussion and it's points that you bring up relevant. You say that there's bloodlines and selective grading. Do you not believe that the Israelis have bloodlines and selective grade their fish?
I don't believe so, mate. If you look at the farm,
I've worked out there, so I can step in and from when they used to do it. The difference is they can spawn fish. They produce carp for eating on a huge scale. So producing koi is easy for them, but their ponds were scaled up much larger than you'd see. So you obviously they'd breed the fish, put them out in the ponds, and you can't get them back to start culling them until say they're 6 inch. Because you've got a 5 acre, but some of the ponds were huge and it just insane numbers of fish. So you're bringing them back where the Japanese might have been through them and culled them 4 times from very selective parents and reduced the numbers massively. You couldn't do it the way they would do it. So they're bringing the fish back and going, well, 20% of these have got a value for selling as ornamental fish, and some just skipping off to go in the fields or ploughed in or fed to someone else, or there's a catfish farm there, they'll take whatever. It's done different. It's done different, and that's where the quality. So the Israeli stuff, some of the varieties were quite, some of the Deutsch varieties, some of the metallic stuff was really quite good because you can do that in that way. But yeah, the Go Sankey stuff was a mile away, certainly 15 years ago. And it has got better, and that's because places like Hazariyat are much more controlled. But again, you're then going into the same process. Hazariyat is a biosecure place, so it's a completely separate facility. It doesn't matter anywhere in the world. It's a secure facility that's doing stuff in a very controlled manner. So whether that could be in Japan, Vietnam, Israel, it's not. You can't tar it with the whole brush of Israeli koi because it's being done completely differently. So I think you come back to the same thing. You need to look at the stocks you can buy, and if the price and the quality, and if you understand what you look at in quality is what you want, and you can quarantine them and that they're healthy enough, it's great.
But I just want to make it clear, looking at some of the comments. It's my opinion based on my experience. I'm not saying
that's why it's good to have. Let's not get bogged down with people. The reason why I'm exactly saying what I'm saying is, I'm asking Crafty, because it is an opinion. Vince would never go back to him because of a bad experience. Crafty wouldn't want one in his pond because, in his opinion, he thinks Japanese are a better grade, better quality, better stocked, better bloodlines, ancestry, history, and all the rest of it. These are each individual's opinions. I've got one in my pond that I do believe is Israeli, and that's my Ginrin. My white one, Platinum Ogon. I believe that fish is Israeli.
What size is it, guys?
At the moment, it's about 25, 26 cm.
How's it grow in comparison? Just out of curiosity.
It's loads slower than anything else. Loads slower than anything that I've got that I know is British bred or Japanese bred. Yes, 100%. But the quality of it and its skin luster and its body shape, if I can make the damn thing grow come next year when now we've got a bit of a bigger pond and switching up with some different foods, then I'm going to see if that fish will push and I can get a bit more size out of it, providing we can get any temperatures over 14 degrees in Huddersfield for a couple of months. But joking aside, I do think it will grow, but even if it doesn't, I appreciate the little fish because it's nice, and I don't care the fact that it's Israeli. The fact that it's Israeli has no relevance. If it's not going to bring nothing to my pond, it's not going to cause any problems in my pond. I'll look at that fish fondly and think, I like that fish because I picked it for what it was, a pure, brilliant white Ginrin Platinum Ogon. And that is what it is.
Yeah.
But I can understand people. Yeah, I've had them too, Crafty, where I've had 2 showers. I bought 2 showers a couple of years ago, and they were fine in the pond for the first 3-4 weeks. Colour started to drop off and rapid. After the colour dropped off rapid, the next thing I were into was sleeping koi, and boom, straight over they went, and that were it. They were both a week and a half between each other, and they were both dead.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that says that the fish I'd already got as stock have been introduced to sleeping koi's disease, and those fish were virgins to it. And when putting them in with my stock nailed them, not the other way around.
Yeah. But that's where the QT system comes into play, guys.
Yeah. Prior to me,
And I think that's where Israel shot themselves in the foot. Certainly when I was out there, because they were harvesting good fish from mud ponds, coming from big field ponds, harvesting, splitting into their grades, dropping into borehole water, dropping on full salt, and then they were being literally starved, packed, and shipped. And those fish were just in absolute, everything about their environment had changed to such a degree, and then they were going to shops all over the world to be quarantined or not, because back then most places didn't release to go in the shop, and you walk past the tank, if you banged it, they swam around for a bit. And it was during that period, it was all about shipping fish, but there was no different stuff coming from Japan. There was stuff coming from Thailand. That's kind of how it used to be. And KHV probably was a great wake up to suddenly you can't do that. So the quarantine procedure, the hardening up procedure, the whole industry has changed, and dealers are now expected to make sure those fish are good for going out to market.
Yeah.
To go to people's ponds. You can't tell and say, oh yeah, but you can't introduce this, you can't do that. These fish are, of an age and of a size, and they've been introduced to A, B, and C, and they are ready to go to your pond wherever.
I think, like you said there, going back maybe 15, 20 years ago, they were known wanting more for the colour dropping off them as they got into bigger size fish.
Yeah.
As that's been, and as Cashy said earlier on there, just popped up on the screen, I don't think, the only thing, the difference between Japan and any other country that's breeding koi is they've all been doing it longer. They're 50 years, if not more, ahead of everybody else out there.
More.
In the grand scheme of, if not more, push. Some of them are on to the 3rd and 4th generations of koi keepers that have gone down from son to son to son, aren't they? I mean, when you've got that much experience, it's like being McLaren against Skoda in an F1 car. I know that it doesn't exist, but for the
that's a good analogy, mate. Yeah, you're right.
It's purely that. I mean, you put the right driver in the right car, no matter how high powered it is, or same power it is. If they've got more technology behind them and they've got more better, teams behind them, they're going to pan your ass regardless. You could put, the best Formula One driver in a shit car, and it's still going to be a shit car. If they're not going to keep up with the people that's leaps and bounds ahead, until they all get to an equal playing field, there's no way really fairly you could judge the koi to say, right, we've had 150 years doing this, you've had 150 years doing this, so have them. What do you think? We put all these in a pond together. What do you think? Those against those, which is the best fish? And then I think you could only be fair about it.
Leave that.
There is a bit of a misconception also. You've got some of the breeders in Japan are multiple generation and been doing it for years. And you've got one of the biggest farms in Japan, Momotaro, 25 years old.
Yeah. Relatively young in the grand scheme of things.
Unfortunately,
the difference, though, Ricky, is where the people that start them farms come from. Like, I just wake up in the morning and think I'm going to be a koi dealer.
Momotaro did. He was a car dealer, wasn't he? So he's an exception. And he's got his fingers burnt. He got massive, had massive problem with KHV, sorted it out. It's a mega farm, and obviously the people that are around him, you can learn much quicker.
Yeah.
But it's the end of the day, the Japanese government are on it. So you've got our government and the Japanese government are involved in the fish farming industry. They're not in Israel. They're not in South Africa. They're not in Thailand. You can ship fish from Thailand or Singapore. There's no. It's a different
no regulation at all. Yeah.
different world, you know.
Yeah.
So just be careful where you buy from. You can't blanket Israel with one big blanket. There's a problem because you've got multiple farms doing different things.
Don't get me wrong. That's just from my personal experience. I would never go down that route again. But
you're not
at
alone.
the same time, I wouldn't knock someone for having Israeli koi because at the end of the day, you can't help what you like, and if you like that fish, whether it's Japanese or Israeli, you like what you like.
That's it, mate. Yeah. I'd agree with that. But as Mendy said here, what about these British breeders crafted? Do you think there's a lot of snobbery in Japanese koi?
Well, there's two questions in there, I think. But what about the British breeders? I think the British breeders have got a place. I think that they do a lot of good for the hobby. You know, I'm not saying that because Rick's up there. But the reason why I wanted the questions like kept up is, do you think there's a lot of snobbery in Japanese koi? And you look at the comments coming through. I don't think that people that keep Japanese koi are snobs. I think the people that have got a thing about different varieties or breeders or wherever they're from in the world get hung up that people that buy Japanese koi are snobs. There's two types, you know. I've got clients that spend 40, 50 grand on koi. Right? They're not snobs. They've just got a lot of money and they've got the money to burn. Right? I've got customers that, you know, that they come in and they save all year to buy one koi. Right? Are they snobs? No, they just like Japanese koi. So I think that the view is actually the person that states there's snobbery. There's no snobs in the hobby. And I think that it's just a misconception.
It's just different levels.
You know, I don't even think there's levels, Gaz, if I'm honest, mate. I think that
level of quality, level of ponds, there's always there's not saying different levels in the fish. If you're getting a fish and it's from the same place, same breeder, same bloodline, genetically you might be buying some smaller size fish. They might be buying some bigger size fish.
Yep.
But if they've got a pond that they spent 60 grand on to build, and then they're going to, you're not going to build a 60 grand pond, and then turn around and throw 150 quid's worth of tiddlers in it, are you? You want a pond that's...
You'd be amazed, mate.
You'll be surprised, Dad.
Would you really? Oh,
yeah, there's more people that do than don't. Put it that way.
I wouldn't have thought they would have. I see. To me, that would have said, right, I've got that beautiful pond. I would have thought the vast majority would go for a pond with a finished looking thing.
No,
gone with 60 grand in a pond. There's 40 grand on my fish.
You've got the aesthetics of having a beautiful pond and something to enjoy when you're sat outside in the garden. It's not necessarily the fish in the pond that brings the attraction, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, so the whole aesthetics of the whole lot. Yeah,
so it's just about having water in the garden, and some people will go well overboard with their pond size, their filtration, etc., you know, spend 30 grand on a build including filtration, then come back and then, you know, spend 200 quid on Tozai, and then they're not interested in getting anything more. You know, but again, it's what you want. So the hobby is not just keeping koi, and there's no snobbery. You know, it's based on what you want to achieve from it. The snobbery comes from the fact, in my opinion, that when you get surrounded by those people that are in showing koi, that they will very quickly badmouth Israeli fish, Polish fish, whatever fish, on a basis that they're not Japanese. Okay, but it's only on the basis that they won't buy them because they want the quality from Japan. Because, you know, especially if they're chasing a GC title, you know, it's going to be very difficult to get a fish of 80, 90 cm of a Go Sankey variety, you know, anywhere other than Japan. So You know, there's so many variables. I just don't like the word snobbery in what we do. I just think that people need to understand that we all like the hobby for whatever reason we like it for, you know.
It's difficult when you get around people that have a greater knowledge of fish, and you go to a show and they start talking about the quality of the fish.
Yeah.
And a lot of people won't understand that, and they do feel perhaps left out, or the snobbery side of it. But then you do also get people that will spend twice as much or more on a Dainichi fish that's absolute tosh.
Yeah.
Because it's Dainichi, whereas they don't understand koi, they just understand the price tag or the breeder. This is amazing. This breed is the best in the world. But you've got a fish that's worthless, basically, from the best breeder. But it's, you know, and that's again part and parcel of any hobby. If you went to show dogs, you know, I could take my dogs to craft and I'll get laughed out of crafts, wouldn't I? Because they're all Heinz 57s. But if you build into a hobby and you understand more about the filtration, more about the fish, and people start talking about stuff and you understand what they're talking about, perhaps it's less snobbery and more, it's a different level of what they're talking about. Different terminology, different words.
Yeah.
Every show that I've ever been to, and that's been every single one, at some point or at some time, these guys are fish in comparison to mine are absolutely amazing. Even the worst of some of the fish, and I'm not saying that there's bad fish there, but you know what I'm saying. Even the ones that you think, right, well, yeah, it's a big carcu, it's a big shower, it's a big sankey, whatever. Even those ones, you can come across. I've found they've approached me when I've been there, and they've spoke with me. And to be fair, they've been very forward with all the information. They've shared the knowledge. They've told me how they've done it. They've told me what they do, and they've told me their enjoyment from it. And not one of them people, and some of those fish have been 6, 7, 12 grand fish, not one of them have ever come across where they look down the nose at me when I've turned around and said, you know, only a little small pond, whatever, little channel, whatever, I'm only just starting kind of thing. Not one of them ever belittled me or made me feel like I weren't good enough to be there standing and talking to them. They couldn't throw enough information down. Me and Brandon, the first time when it happened, we were stuck for 3.5 hours just talking with 3 or 4 different guys that were there showing the fish. It was brilliant, man. It was the information, the stuff that they told us. And I know I've said this before time and time again, but I've found people at the shows to be very forward with coming forward with their information and telling you how they're doing it and what they've been involved with it. I've never come across anyone as of yet there at a show that's come. The only people I would say, if anything, that come across a little bit snobbish would be the judges. And that's because, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, it would come across that way because they're doing what they're doing, they're judging and they're looking at it. They've not got time to spend that time and sit and talk to you. They're there to do a job. I mean, I've even tried to get Mr. Tate to have a laugh and a giggle with you, but because he's there to do something, he gave me a little snigger and a little smirk, but that was as much as I managed to get out of him, even giving him a bit of banter and a bit of cheek from other side of barrier. He gave me it, but he was there to do a job, and I would think that they're there to judge. They're there judging, and they're not there to have banterous conversation or to sit there and give an opinion on something. They're there to do a job, and that's what they want to be getting on with. It's a pressing time that they've got to do it. They've got to get around it. There's a hell of a lot to look at. That would come across as if you're being ignored. Oh, they're too good to talk to me. That sense is what I mean by snobbery. Not
what
snobs.
What I'll throw in the mix, guys, is that the small ring of people that call us snobs or Japanese koi owners snobs, all I'll say is this: always start with I. Okay, before you tarnish anybody, look at yourself and then say, where am I going? Right, because there's a lot to be said for certain individuals and comments. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Agreed, mate. I do. I like to grow them.
Especially, man. That's the best. That's the best thing in koi. Koi keeping.
Yeah.
Dino
Watching
said a
them
little
grow and
comment
develop.
here. He said,
Testing yourself.
somebody who slags someone off is a snob. No, someone who slags someone off, mate, is a dick. Not a snob. You're just a dick.
And I'd ask you to read your comments back.
But I mean, anybody can say something about someone's behind the back, can't they? And a lot of people do. It's whether or not you're prepared to say it to the face as well.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Reg's comment-
that's always one that leads to so many different directions. Is the old Israeli coy? I mean, that went from Israeli coy to snob.
That's right. It's down to the fact, mate. Is a lot of people that buy the Israeli koi that get serious into the hobby, they do look back on their journey and they will start to do them comparisons. Right. What I will say is this, right? If you spend £40 on a Tozai for Israeli koi, and then 3 weeks later it all falls to bits, and you've got a pond full of them, right? And then you buy another load of Japanese Tozai, put them in 3 years later, one falls to bits. What are you going to go with? Are you going to keep going back to Israeli?
I'm going to go to New Forest koi.
Well, you go to New Forest.
Don't tell me. Yeah.
Well, this is something else that'll bring us on to another topic and another question. Now, right, this one's from Jigs, and we've had this question a lot of times, and I'm going to go last. Daz, don't pinch me answer.
I agree, Dan.
If there's one thing you could change in the koi industry, what would it be and why? And that's to the panel.
Yeah. Go on,
I'll go last.
I'll go fair. Free electric.
No, you're spinning me on.
Yeah, that'd be a game changer.
Free electric. Boom. Done. Mic drop. Boom. See ya. Oh, that impressed Vince that much. He disappeared.
He's run out of electric.
I'm still thinking of an answer. Gaz has already stole mine.
It's the one thing that holds you back, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a governing factor. It really is.
The main cost of pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I would like to change the amount of support there is for the hobby, because it would be nice to see us get back to where we were in the late 80s, early 90s with this hobby. And I think that would really help everybody, if I'm honest. If we could. I don't think we'll ever get there based on pricing, but, it'd be great if we could.
Yeah.
Daz, have you got a quick, simple, easy mic drop like Rick had?
Well, not really, no.
Do you want time to think about it? Well,
Yeah.
Give
You
a
go
chance,
first,
Vince.
Gaz.
In your short intermittent break there, did you have a chance to come up with an answer as to what you would like to change in the koi hobby or the koi industry? Industry, sorry.
Yeah, I've got one there.
I'd like there to be more transparency in the koi industry.
How?
No, that's
God damn it, Vince, that was mine.
I'd like to know what you mean by that.
Well, Ricky's
Translucent
been
walls.
doing it for the last, God knows how many months since he's been on the live, and I've been doing stuff with him about what he does, how he does it, the way he does it. There isn't a Japanese breeder out there that would do it. There isn't another English breeder in this country that would do it.
Not that we haven't asked you guys. The stage is here.
Right.
You're more than
I
welcome,
don't think that's
Adam
anything
Bayer.
to do with transparency, though.
But there is too many secrets being kept by too many different people.
Handshakes and all that.
That's
That's the problem.
yeah,
It's how
and
much
that is the problem.
A to B to C to D.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see is, like you were saying, I'd love to see the kind of New Forest koi. We've got Adam Byers, Cuttlebrook. I'd love to see Cuttlebrook and Adam Bayer and Rick all sit here and do this together and show what they do, the same as what Rick does. Man, when you go down there, Rick, you're just like that. You're just like, you open up a page in a book and it's like, woof, everything just spills out. It's nothing hid. There's nothing, everything
that's
that you
what I
can
mean.
push out each week in, week out that you've been coming on. you've been sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. And to be fair, for me personally, I think that it's been one hell of a journey and a hell of a learning curve for me. When we've been down there, Daz, when you've been there, Vince, it's wicked, man. I just think I get what you mean a bit. It's like clocks and daggers where other places when you go visit there, it's like, ooh, you can't go here.
Yeah, you can't look at these fish. Yeah.
What am I going to do? Go home and clone it and match it and set up my own business in my 35-foot garden. Come on, man. Right fair. What's up with you?
To be honest, I don't think there's no secrets in it. The biggest problem with showing too much of, say, Japan, if you're filming someone going on a buying trip and you're filming a dealer buying fish, and it's the money side of it. Because if you're a customer in this country and you're seeing what they're being paid for in that country, you're thinking, well, why am I paying X amount when it's only cost Y amount? But you've got to figure in, obviously, not just what the farmer charging, but what the person out there that's putting the deals together, the shipping costs, the quarantine costs. The
cost of it going out there.
But to buy Japanese fish in this country, you're paying generally 4 businesses plus the farmer.
Yeah.
So that £100 fish in Japan is costing you £500 or £600 in the UK or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems when you see it in Japan, that fish is £100. You think, well, why am I paying £500-600 for it?
Right.
You've got to put all of those processes in.
And the VAT.
Well, that's the thing. My issue with the whole industry is you get prices. You can buy a fish from a dealer. So as a trader, you can buy a fish from a dealer, and then that suddenly gets whamped onto. If you're selling a sack of food, it costs you £150, and you sell it for £200. You got your margin on it. But suddenly you buy a fish for £150. Oh, it's quite a nice one. I sell it for £500, and you're taking the absolute mickey. Then suddenly the person that sold it to you knows what you're selling it for, and then that's when there's issues. There should be almost a set margin on fish.
Yep, totally agree with that.
There's not, and you can sell that fish. Oh, this is a really pretty one. I'm going to mark it up for £2,000. I know it only cost me £200, but some mug might buy it.
Yeah,
and some mugs might buy it.
Yeah.
Can't do that with a sack of food or a feeder or anything else that's got a recommended retail price or whatever. So that can gripe me when you see fish being sold on one site for X amount and then stupid money 2 days later somewhere else. Other than that,
it's all relative, isn't it?
It is. Right,
maybe I'm just jealous because I can't sell nothing for whatever. We sell the fish for what they cost us to produce. So it's what they've cost us to produce plus the profit margin and the VAT is what we're selling it for.
Go on then, Daz. Yeah,
meds that don't bloody work. I mean, we're not in the EU anymore, are we? So we don't need to pussyfoot around now and pander to what Europe tells us we've got to mix the stuff up to. Why can't we just sell
we're
stuff?
Still stuck to the EU for some reason, for some things, mate. We haven't. We're not out completely.
I know. Why not though? I mean, it's crazy.
Evening.
Right, Dan.
A guest joined us, and we're all just jabbering on.
Sorry, Danny.
Don't
worry.
Go on then, Danny. What would you change in the koi industry if you could?
Well, just very quickly, just jump on what Ricky said. So obviously, I'm fairly new to being a dealer, but when you're buying batches, you get some shite in the batch. And essentially, if you're not putting a markup on the decent ones, you're going to be left with the crap. Because I had to sell fish last week what I paid for them, maybe less because the shite.
But that's different, Danny. You're buying. So okay, you're buying a box. So you're buying 100 pieces or fish for £10 each, and there's a discrepancy between them.
I wish I was paying £10 each, but yeah, go on.
Whatever. What I'm saying is, when you're buying an individual fish for £100, and then you're trying to sell it for 1,200 quid.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
That's
But
me.
obviously, the margin has got to be on the good ones because it's not on the bad ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's buying a box. You're buying a job lot. See, the box is costing £1,000, so you can split the fish.
You can break the fish out. Yeah.
What I'm saying
Yeah,
is
no,
individual.
there's dealers that oh, well, Jesus, if I got the money that they got, I'd be a rich man. But no, yeah, I think that the gripe with the koi hobby and not the actual fish side for me personally, it's just what it comes back to all the time. It's the backbiting. Essentially, I think there's a big enough market. I think everyone can earn a crust.
Yeah.
There's enough if you want to sell Israeli, Polish, Jap, English, whatever you want to sell. I think there's a market for it. There's a price bracket for it. Yeah, I think everyone just needs to live and let live. I think it'd be a nicer place.
I personally think that if you get involved in anything to do with livestock, irrespective of what type of livestock it is, it falls exactly into that bracket. Fucking hideous.
If at the end of the day, if you can't buy it, look after it, do what you're supposed to do, and sell it at a profit, then it ain't a business.
No, totally right, mate.
Yeah.
So, there you go. And if you can buy it,
no one can take away from anyone that tries to make it. You know, I was talking to somebody. I'm not going to mention names, but I was talking to somebody about 3 weeks ago that was sent a letter stating that because he opened, he had to close down. And he said that he's basically ruined his livelihood. And I said, well, that's just fucking tremendous that someone's written to you to say that you've closed it down. Why wasn't you better? You know, again.
No, look, that's just no excuse for that at the end of the day. Like,
No, there isn't, mate.
if someone opened up half a mile away from me, I'd get better. That's the top and
But
bottom.
that's all you've got. That's your only choice, isn't it? You've got to go to that kind of thing where you either undercut them, you match them, you better them, or you fold.
sell them your fish.
You fold. Yeah, you go into a different line. You diverse style. That is diverse style, and change if you need. You adapt and overcome. But that's business, isn't it? That's the same for anything, no matter what you're dealing with.
You're totally right, man. But, you know, just keep doing what you do, man. Fuck everybody.
To be honest, I had the conversation. Me and Gaz spoke this morning, and I said to him, like, you know, things for me at this point, 16 weeks in, I'm astounded by how good it's gone. I expected at this point to be making 200 quid a week and to grow, you know, at a very slow rate. I thought it was going to take several years. Luckily, it's hit the ground running, and I'll announce it on here because I haven't said it yet. I've just got my shop, so that's official. As of Tuesday this week, I've got my shop.
Where you open?
February. I'm going to be open late February, ready for March.
Is that in your garden or on a high street or?
No, this is a high street shop, so obviously I've still got my license in the garden, so I've got the 10 ponds here, and then I'll have 6 to 10 ponds in the shop as well. So yeah, I'm going to treat it like a farm at the house, to be honest. I'm going to buy them, grow them, quarantine them, etc. And then they're going to go to the shop for retail.
Retail. Sweet.
Way forward, though, isn't it? If it works, and it's a business model that works, then it works, doesn't it? There's no.
Well, I love having the fish in the garden, to be honest, because, you know, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock at night, I can go and check on them and whatever else, you know what I mean? So I like having especially the heavy feeding out there. That's when you've got a lot of toast in a small vat and you're putting a lot of food in, you definitely want to keep an eye on them.
I could just go nick me quad. Now I can't go.
Yeah, I heard about that, mate. It's unbelievable.
Happens, doesn't it?
See, right, for my bit with this, when it said with the koi industry, what I'd like to see as a change, I'd like to see the change over in Japan. I'd like to, by which I mean, I'd like to see them making it more affordable, more open, more accessible for the British public or any public to be able to go out there and do what we can do over here. By which
Go down to the governments, mate.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. But I would love it to be able to say, right, if let's say me and Dad, we didn't want to go buy some fish, but we wanted to visit as many koi farms as we could, and we can pop over in UK and we can hit every single one of them, and we could go to every single store. But yet, when it comes to going over there, you've got to have all these things in place. You've got to have a tour, a guide, and all the rest of it. And unless you're spending big or buying big, then I ain't interested in talking to a little man. But this is a year 2023, and yet the market over there is so difficult to be able to go over. And if you're going over, it's a fucking dream thing to be doing. It ain't.
Yeah, it's not that. To be honest, the cost of the flying over there is going to cost you. You can't, wherever you're going, that's going to cost you.
Oh yeah, I know.
They're open to people visiting. Some of the farms, not so much, but they got shops, they got dealers. It's not. The problem is, you imagine they're the hotbed of the whole wide world. So you've got 4 farms that everyone knows. You know, Dainici's there, and there's his farm, and everyone in the world wants to come and visit him. But only some of them want to spend some money. It's not like.
No.
But it's a massive tourist thing, though, Rick, isn't it? It's every koi keeper's dream to go over and see.
And there's places in Japan that you can go and see, like the koi museums full of fish.
But if I wanted to go tomorrow, if I wanted to set myself up to go tomorrow, there's only 2 or 3 people I can approach in the UK to take me there.
No, there's not.
You can go out there, guys. You might get the door shut on you some places, but
somebody needs to start sending me some info.
Yes, all you got to do, right, is pay for my plane ticket, pay for my hotel, and pay for me a couple of brew stocks.
I've seen how much you suck, man. If your hotel bar bill would been that'd bankrupt.
Out there, be a few quid, but if you want to go.
I'd love to go, mate. I really would.
I'd love
to go see the culture, go see it. And I always seem to think, and I've always been led to believe, it was really damn difficult to get there. And everybody you see to go seems to be going through the same people, the same companies, the same outfits. It's like for example, like what Rick did when he went over there and had a look around on a koi farm. Yes, I know you're not going to get the one-to-one like he does because they look like they've been friends for donkey's years since Rick were a lad. But to be able to experience that kind of thing, to me, that's everything I'd ever want to do. That's what I loved it coming down to your place, Rick. It was literally like being out there, but without being out there, being down there instead. Do you know what I mean? But to be able to see that and
more, shouldn't I?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you would be able to get people paying to come down there to see and have that experience of being there and doing it, harvesting lakes, mate. Being there, being amongst it all, learning all that information. Me and Dad said, I'm Vicky, it was fantastic, man. It was brilliant. Doing it in Poland, we one of the best trips I personally had. Not as a holiday, as a trip to see it, experience it and do it. It was fantastic, man. It was brilliant. We loved it. And I'd love to be able to do the cream of the creme, or creme de la creme, and go out there and see it and do it in Japan. But I know it's just not that easy. I just think it could be made a lot easier than what it is.
I think, to be honest, I think it is easy, but it's expensive because you've got to tie in the flights, you've got to tie in the hotels. Cost of living in Japan ain't cheap, and you've got to spend some money to warrant it, realistically. Because if you're going with someone that's going to these places, it's all. You buy off him, he buys off. It's So, but it isn't closed doors there. It's not. You could go out there. From when Peter Waddington did it back in the 70s, whatever. You can go out there. It's not a problem. It's not about. It's not. You can't go out as a because imagine how many people would want to go to the farm. It's just insane.
But what would be the difference with all us lot running around there with his cameras taking pictures, as opposed to those and people from abroad running around everywhere taking pictures elsewhere? You know what I mean? It's an experience that people want to see, and an industry that people want to see how it works and get involved in.
Would you ever want to go to Japan? I've seen at least a dozen different people offering trips to Japan. Obviously, they're buying trips. They want you to buy koi from them, from the farm. They want to put a commission on you, etc.
If you're going, it's not a trip. If you're going, it's how they always are. It's made out to be a trip, but what really is, it's taking 5k out of your ass pocket while you buy shitload of fish.
That's the point, man.
Yeah, that'd be the point for me as well, to be honest. If I couldn't do that, I wouldn't go.
Is that the point? Is that the point? So only going to Japan to see a koi farm if you're spending $5,000 on fish. That's the point, is it? You can't go. You can't go for the experience. You can't go for the thrill, the enjoyment, the sightseeing of it, the lifestyle, the culture.
Well, you
All
go,
that's
of course
going
you
about is
can.
just $5 worth of fish. I can
No,
do
no,
that
no,
anywhere.
There be
Can't I?
nothing
I
stop,
can buy
guys.
$5
There'd be
grand of
nothing
fish
stopping
in
you.
UK. Why do I need to travel to Japan to do it? They're
But
coming to me.
you can. You can go out there, mate. There's nothing stopping you going out there. You can go up to Nagata. You can go to the farms, and you might not be welcome with open arms because the farmers don't speak a lot of English and they're busy. And
Come
there's
on, man. It's 2023. They all speak English.
they
This
don't.
is not-
You'll be surprised how many don't.
You'd be surprised how many do, mate.
Well, some do, but some don't.
What
But,
would stop you though, guys? What would stop you go and getting a flight out there to Tokyo, getting on the bullet train, and just driving around the farms and just seeing if someone lets you in? Yeah, apart from that, yeah.
Well, like Ricky said, Peter Waddington was the first person to do it, wasn't he?
What you guys, let me say this, mate. Right,
Where
you
we
say-
going, Crafty? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, we do Japan trips, right? You say to me, right, Crafty, I want to come to Japan with you. I've got a couple of quid in my pocket. I want to go and buy a nice fish from Japan. I'll go, all right, we charge XYZ commission on any purchase to get it back for you. All right? You go, okay, get over there. So I didn't like anything.
mug.
Fucking done, innit, mate? You know, you still got your experience, just didn't buy fish. Are we
Well, that's
gonna...
what I did in Poland, pretty much, because
Like nothing.
pretty much did. The ones that I liked was
too expensive.
too expensive, yeah, for what they were.
Yeah.
If there'd have been a reasonable, sensible price, then I'd have come on with a couple, but they weren't. They were fucking stupid money for what they
Do
were.
you think in Japan at Dainichi they're going to be like peanuts? You might come back 2 or 3 from there, mate.
Right, we'll put it to. I'll put another question to you then. Sorry, I feel like I'm really ignoring everybody out there. This definitely become a panel chat. Do you think in Japan they cost as much to the people in Japan as what they cost us over here?
Yeah,
I
the
can
deer
answer
ones.
this, guys.
Come on, man. Who are you trying to kid? You're trying to tell me that they don't sell that kahaku to
They're a
somebody
business.
local?
Not a chance.
No?
The Japanese farmers are tight as arseholes, mate.
Are they
I've
watertight?
just bought 30 fish from Marihiro, and mate, honestly, you can buy from someone who's bought a tosai in this country and grown on to Nisai Sansai for cheaper than you can buy direct from Japan. I promise you that.
I thought
They're not
I've
cheap,
always
I
been
was
under the
really
impression
shocked.
that
I thought you were going to be paying pennies for them, and no. Like, there was two Soragoi the other day. I fell in love with them. They were $2,000 a piece at Nisai. You're never making money on that in the UK at that size fish. What are you going to sell it for? $4,000 a fish? You're not getting it.
Yeah, nobody's going to pay it, are they?
But they do, though. I mean, but you more fish, more custom, more choice. That's pretty much where you go.
All right, some dealers might get it. The average dealer is not getting that money.
No.
You've got to have the clientele, haven't you?
You've got to be prepared to have it. If you're going to spend that, you've got to be prepared to keep it in your ponds for a year.
This is where Koi Wholesale have got it locked down, because if they buy in 2,000 tosai and they whittle that down to 200 nice, decent-sized fish, there's your profit. Whereas you couldn't import them 200 nice Nisai fish for the money that they can sell them for in this country.
But that's their business model.
Of course, and
You
it's an
gotta
amazing
say-
business.
Yeah. You got to doff your cap to that one, haven't you?
It's an amazing business model, but you honestly, I think people are misunderstanding that. They're not cheap as ships, and especially by the time you pay the import.
I always thought they would be cheaper over there than what they are when they get over here.
Some
Well,
will,
they are,
of
of course
course.
they are. But you've still got to get them back. So you can't
That's
you buy them from the farm. How do you get them back? So you got to speak to Narita or Tanai or somebody that can get them from the farm to the airport, from the airport through. You've got to pay. You got to keep paying people.
If you pay £1,000 for a fish in Japan, you're paying £200 VAT on
Get a
top,
waterproof
£200
suitcase.
plus pound for your water, for your box. You're talking the fish that was £1,000, selling £1,500 landed,
Yeah.
if not more.
And then you've got to pay through your own quarantine system. You've got to pay your own business rates. You've got to pay your staff.
And you've got to pick it up from Gatwick Airport as well, which is another £100 in fuel.
Yeah, you know, there's
So it does add up, it's surprising.
Japanese koi are expensive because it's expensive to get them here.
Now, is another quick question then for those that are buying and importing it, right? Is it still as expensive now because they're having to go the long way around, or are we now coming back through the normal quick journey?
Okay, so the import rates they fluctuate. So before the war in Ukraine, it was X amount.
Yeah.
When the war in Ukraine kicked off, and I had to go the long way around because I can't go through the airspace now. Yeah, it inflated. It also caused a fucking massive backlog of deliveries and a huge amount of issues in Japan because certain prices weren't being met. And on top of that, the flights were being cancelled down as well because they couldn't get clearance into the airspace to go around. So there was lots of issues when it first kicked off, just over a year ago.
There's an upshot. Buy your fish from England.
Yes.
That's isn't it, man? You know?
I'll be honest, Rick, 100%, mate. There's fish that are on my Christmas list from your shop, from your store, from England. I mean, to me, the ones that I've seen that I want, and I've not seen any of them coming from Japan. So,
and at the end of the day, I mean, you're breeding, and others of us are as well, breeding from Japanese broodstock. So, what's the difference? I mean,
it's
quality, but when you import the Japanese fish from Japan, you're not getting the best of the best of the best, are you? You're getting way down the pecking list.
But you're still getting fish that are
Quality
graded
product.
harder from better parents.
Yeah.
So you're still
if you get
If the broodstock of that fish was £100,000 and you paid £100, you know, there's
A&C says quality.
there's a level, isn't it?
But
and it is quality. There's no denying it. You can't turn around and say, okay, I breed from Japanese parents. I breed from Momotaro parents. I can't call the offspring Momotaro fish. And the parents I'm using aren't as good as his parents, and I'm not producing his fish.
Why
Because-
can't you?
Because they're now being produced by myself.
Because they're now Ricky's hands.
Yeah, but
And
they're still
at the end of the
Momotaro
day-
bloodline, aren't
Right,
they?
so
Yeah, but
my mum and
doesn't
dad
matter the
had
bloodline.
me in UK, and I was born in Yorkshire. That made me a Yorkshireman, right?
But
So
you're not Japanese.
if I take me out of Yorkshire, I'm still a Yorkshireman.
All right, well, my son was born in Liverpool, but he's not Welsh. I live in Wales now. He's not Welsh.
Exactly, that's my point. But
So
those
he's
fish from
always gonna be
Japan
from
brought
Liverpool.
to down south,
But
they're
Gaz,
still Japanese fish, aren't they? They're still.
you're going on places of birth, right? So if you actually done a DNA test, you'd probably find like I'm 90% Turkish, mate, in your DNA. But I don't identify.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess there
There's
is
so many different pieces of.
there is that to it.
It's a load
The
of
boy are named after the breeder who bred them from the farm because it's a respect thing. It's like an honour, isn't it, that he bred that fish? So for you to take them, breed them, and then claim it's his, it's quite disrespectful, don't you think?
You just can't do it. You can't claim. So we might use his parents. Okay, not that your parents are good, but the parents we're using aren't as good as your parents, and you're doing 20 million, and we're doing half a million. So our best fish aren't a patch on your mediocre fish.
Yeah.
But our best fish are 100 quid each. Your mediocre fish are £2,000 each. Yours are better quality than ours. Ours
Well,
are.
let's say, for
reputable,
example,
yours
you
are
bought
good.
John Legend.
Who's John Legend?
It's
Only the one of the best carcos ever
Oh, you mean
produced.
S-Legend?
Legend.
No, John Legend. S
John
Legend's
Legend.
mother.
It was two.
John Legend is
John Legend was S Legend's mother.
John Legend.
They're both female kahakus.
Yeah.
I do my research before I open my mouth. So if you bought like a fish of that quality, that is a champion, grand champion.
I still couldn't call it.
Beautiful
I could only say I'm breeding from this fish. And I'm
Yeah,
using
but that's
this
still
parent.
the quality, isn't it? You would still be breeding that 100%
Yeah.
pure one-off fish. Surely to
Yeah.
God that would give a little bit more of a kick.
Of course, it'll give you a bit. It might make the offspring worth more, but at the end of the day, only a tiny percent of the. If I could rear all 250,000 offspring from that fish, and I paired it with the correct fish, and I gave them the correct environment, and I culled them correctly, I might have some good product from that fish.
But what
Yeah,
you got?
I've got one for you. See what you think of this. So now, your Sabin, your Shihi boy, he had Jap breeders come to his farm and buy Deutsch Achiever to take back to Japan for potential pairing fish to breed into their lines. Not saying they bred totally from that, but to breed into the lines. They're not going to claim the Polish fish, are they?
A, they're not, and B, there's pretty strict rules. You can't take fish back into Japan. You can't
Well,
take.
he had them breeders at that farm, and I don't see why he potentially lie about that, to be honest. So
no, I'm just saying, to get fish back into Japan is like rock and roll shit. They don't do it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if he have fish good enough quality, why wouldn't they? They're not stupid people. If he's created
20 years ahead for them, why not?
Yeah, if he's created something better than they're doing, and why wouldn't I breed from a fish from Poland if it's better than I can get from Japan, or if I can get a fish from Israel that's better than Japanese fish? I'll be like, hang on.
I wasn't on for the whole Israel thing before, but I've got nothing against Israeli fish apart from the KHV thing.
There's a lot of misconceptions.
It is a bit scary that they introduced them to KHV, some farms, but I will give you credit, Rick, that when we say Japanese koi, we don't say Jap koi, do we? We say Momotaro, Sakai, etc. When we say Polish koi, we say Yoshiki koi. When we say Israeli, we just say Israeli. We don't pin it down to a farm. So you're tarring them all with the same brush, which is not fair, really, is it?
Well, the problem was Israeli koi. There were 7 kibbutz in Israel that used to do Israeli koi. So there were 7 massive farms, and they were all under one umbrella. And when the shit hit the fan,
Madan's one.
Yeah.
Hazaria
I couldn't tell you one, I'll be totally honest. I couldn't tell you one Israeli koi farm name, which is wrong, to be honest, because I should know that.
Have a YouTube of it, mate. Israeli koi farms. What's the one you just said then, Vince? Matt something?
Hazaria is the biosecure place now.
Madan,
You got Kafir Rupin.
Rupin, Farouk.
Magnoi was the umbrella. But it's one of those things. It was a boom for a period, and then it went wrong with the health issues because they were farming in a certain way where it's such an extensive way. How do you then go about dealing with it? Which is why they were the ones that did the research into KHV, found that they could do with vaccine, and they went down a route that most farmed animals would go down.
The is a thing, so I spoke to Paula Reynolds about this because I was asking about heat ramping for myself, obviously with the imports coming in. Because it's only a week ago and we had the conversation, we started talking about Israel and stuff. And she's still got a problem with Israeli fish coming in because they're potentially carrying KHV. And the reason she says this is because they don't give them long enough after introducing them to KHV to check that there's definitely none carrying it before they bring them to the UK. So they literally give them the vaccine, put them in the water with the KHV, whatever survives gets shipped over. There's no time in between.
But we've seen the same thing. We've seen the same thing in suppliers over here, haven't we? The koi dealers over here have been hit by KHV from fish imported from Japan this season again. Gary at Gatwick Koi? I don't know.
3 times in the last 2 years, I believe.
And those have been Japanese imports.
Yeah. Yeah, but
at the same time, though, that was in his quarantine system.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah, it was identified, and it was literally, it was, mate. Yeah,
said it to Gary. Gary is like a flagship for KHV. He actually talks about it. Most dealers, if they got KHV, would hide. He doesn't. He puts it out there for the world, and I think he gets a bad reputation for that. So credit where it's due, to be honest.
But it doesn't come from nowhere. That's the point. See, the problem with the Israeli stuff, once you've vaccinated it, it will test positive for the test for KHV because it's got the antibodies for KHV. Even though it's not got KHV, it's got the antibodies for KHV because it's been vaccinated. So that fish then, if it gets introduced to KHV, will survive it, but then carry it again. So you then, it can, then this is the problem. This is the grey area where you've got all of Japan producing 90% of the koi in the world, making sure there's no KHV, and if there is, it's just destroyed, isolated, whatever. And then you've got another place where you've got these fish have been vaccinated, but actually, if we do the testing, they're going to test positive, even though they're not carrying it. And then you've got Hazara in Israel, another farm that is completely isolated that aren't vaccinated, and then they've got fish that are cage-free. So it's just quite a muddy area. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, if you want fish from Israel, great. If you want to buy fish, if you've got they're generally cheaper, if you like those fish, fine. But if you start mixing fish from Japan with Israel, with English, with Polish, at some point, chances are something to kick off. And that's mixing fish regardless. And even if you mix our fish with Japanese fish, and Japanese fish come under this big umbrella, but you've got 300 farms in Japan that have all got their own issues that they deal with, and they ship fish in a good manner generally these days. But if you mix fish from 5 farms in Japan and some fish from us and some fish from Poland, there's going to be a reaction one way or another.
What about hobbyists heat ramping? What's anyone's thought on that?
Hobbyists doing it.
Hobbyists doing their own heat ramp with every fish that comes in.
It's expensive.
Too expensive, isn't it, for the average?
They shouldn't have to, unless they've got quarantine setups and they've got serious stock that is.
No, they shouldn't have to. I'm just talking on the grand scheme. What's people's opinion? Apart from electricity, take away. You're going to have 2 months of using electricity for heating. Take that away from it. What's people's thoughts? Would that be something someone would give it a go if you had a expensive lot of fish, or you didn't want to lose fish? Vince has obviously lost them 18 years ago. He doesn't want to do it again. What's your thoughts on it?
If you could, yeah, in an ideal world, quarantine and heat ramp and everything you could do. It's not just heat ramp and introducing name fish to whatever. Everything you can do is a bonus, but you want your dealer to do everything they can do, and the farm they get them from to do everything they can do, and stopping the cheap. It's the people that just in there quick buck, and that's the problem. That's the problem that started with Israel. They started farming them, and they had the perfect environment. They were shipping 20 years ago. They were shipping fish like just insane volumes at such cheap prices because they could produce koi drop of a hat. And they're not
that cheap, really, are they?
Not now, because they've had to vaccinate. They can't ship young ones without vaccinating, or they can't do the biosecure ones without the process that you have to do in Japan. So suddenly their cost unit for fish has gone up.
I've been in koi shops and I've looked and seen the prices and assumed that they were Japanese until I've asked the question, because they were expensive fish.
The same price. It costs the same amount of money to rear a fish properly. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Is pretty similar.
Correct.
To use good parents, to cull, to grade, to grow, use good food, to do the right things. That product's going to cost X amount of money. There was a window 20 years ago when Israel could do it a lot cheaper because they had carp. Honestly, you would never. It blew my mind out there. But people walk around our farm. Oh, that's a big fish farm. Go to Israel, mate, and they were doing insane levels of fish, like just blow your mind levels of fish, tons
Millions
and tons
upon millions.
But does anyone know about Sri Lanka? Have recently been granted permission to start importing into the UK? So,
to be fair, they all can.
Well, I spoke to Paula Reynolds last week. As I said, I was asking about my heat ramping and getting advice, and she was talking about Sri Lanka. So apparently Sri Lanka have been trying to get into the UK for a long, long time, and recently, I don't know when, they've now been granted permission, so now they're importing into the UK as well.
To be fair, imports into the UK from donkeys years ago, because of fair trade, there was fish coming in when the cage feed really kicked off. We have fish coming in from America, South Africa, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, China, Japan, Israel, and they all had issues. And there's no way to restrict imports because fair trade.
I think it's a bit crazy to add to the list. I'll be honest. I think it's nuts. There's a nut. You can get English, you can get Polish, you can get Israeli, you can get African. Why would you add other countries to it? Nuts. Because
if they can do them cheaper, because of labour costs and food costs, and the dealing with the fish is cheaper, they can ship them at a cheaper rate. And someone will try
surely got to be pence on the pound. It can only come down to pennies, really.
No,
I don't know.
But depends how much they're paying the staff to work and do everything that they need to be doing.
Say a standard kahaku from Japan. I'm not talking nothing special. I'm not talking dynasty. Say it's 50 quid at 20 cm. Ricky's farm might be 40 quid. you know, what's the difference?
If you got the temperature and you've got the pond
35?
space, Israel could probably do them at cost of about £3 back in the day.
Yeah.
Literally,
20
if
years
you've
ago now,
got that heat and that space, £3. Labour's nothing. Your shipping's much closer, and that's the issue. They were producing these fish at such low cost because they were doing, to say the basics. They were basically stripping the fish, banging the fry out. A year later, these fish are grown like crazy. Yeah, we can farm off, we can eat, we can plough it, we get rid of the rubbish. All the pattern ones, bang them in a box, off they go. You know, and they were undercutting because there was
on a bigger scale.
Yeah, it's the scale, but there was none of the settling in. There was none of. So now they've got to vaccinate, but there was literally you run a net round, you harvest them, you chop them in some clear water, starve them, box them, ship them. You know, you're not doing all the sort of due process for a pet shop license that you'd have to do in this country to look after them. There's none of the welfare stuff or the basic stuff that you do for an animal to make sure it's going to arrive in a condition that it is going to be good in. It's just cheap.
Yeah, but you're saying you're out on 20 years ago now, don't you, Rick? So.
Yeah, and it's still cheap to produce them, but they now that it's not as easy because they've got vaccines, so you can't buy the small stuff cheap. They've got the quality levels have got to be high, and the whole process. And I think the internet is the amazing thing, because if you send a bad batch of fish somewhere, it's global, isn't it? We can everyone get on a forum, we can all get on YouTube and go, "Well, don't buy from there because they're crap."
Oh,
And
yeah. Again, that conversation we had this morning, guys, literally that come up, isn't it, about
Exactly
getting out and how easy it could be. Yeah.
But that's the thing, isn't it? It's global, but it's a small world now. So at the end of the day, Sri Lanka might get a license to ship koi to the UK. They might be able to produce them really cheap. But the first time they come over and wipe everyone's ponds out or have issues, suddenly we're not going to buy from there because they're not coming in the condition they come from anywhere else we could buy them. Okay, they might cost a bit more, but they're in condition for this country. They're in condition to be sold. They're in condition, you know, it's producing koi they just can't. It's easy to produce them to a certain point, to a certain level. Beyond that level gets incredibly hard and incredibly expensive.
Yeah,
and
that's when you start going to the levels of quality that they do, like in Japan.
Health, quality, every little aspect of it costs money.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're in a country where your labour costs $2 a day and you've got free heat and you've got all this water and space, then producing the fish is going to be easy. But to make sure it's in the right health condition correctly, it's got the right, you know, it's in the right welfare to be shipped in the right manner and all the rest of it. That's where all these costs start adding up.
Is there as much, like in Japan, a lot of their stonking koi that they do produce, will all enter into the koi scene over there as in the shows and stuff. Is there a market like that in Israel? Do they do showing and all that kind of stuff over there?
Absolutely not. It was a business thing. It was purely a business.
For them, it's just purely a mass production farm.
It was, yeah. And that was just a market that was just like, well, we can do this and we can do it on a scale. And so I think there's maybe 2 or 3 farms left in Israel, and now they do it in a more controlled manner, but the fish are a lot more expensive.
Yeah, because don't they do the same with aquarium fish as well? Rear them in mass.
Guys, I'm gonna drop off. I'll be in the comments. I've got to go and spend a bit of time with Ron and Doreen.
Are you at someone else's house?
Yeah, I'm at Ron and Doreen's at Westcliff Koi. I'm going to help him put a waterfall in over there tomorrow. Should be fun.
Good man.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah.
Go get that cup of tea. That I forgot to put it on. Comments there. They asked if you wanted a pot of tea earlier, mate.
IPA. Look.
Twisted one on tour. I'll be down in the comments.
Nice one, mate.
Catch you later.
In a bit. Ta-da.
Cheers, Vince.
There's a space if anybody would like to jump into the hot seat before it cools down. Let's move on to another topic then and another question. I think we've still got some more. Chris Taylor, salt in ponds to 0.1% over winter. What are people's thoughts?
Waste of time.
Yeah, there's no point, is there?
I agree. I'll get it right one day.
It's always back home.
Shit.
It's not up. Yeah, waste of time. If
What
you're
would,
going to
what,
do
would
it,
be, what would be the purpose of 1%? Like, is there
0.3
Getting more that
if you're
question,
going
or-
to do it, but only
It's gotta be
necessarily
0.3.
for younger koi to help them through the first winter, maybe the second.
What's the
why,
point?
you need
why
them
would you
after.
salt to 0.3 then if you were going to salt?
What's the point in salting it? Full stop. There's this big thing going around saying it helps parasites, and that's a load of bollocks.
Well, this man here believes it's quite a good thing to do for
Yeah,
younger
yes.
koi to help them through the first season.
yeah,
It's
not
not
so much helping
parasites, though, Rick, is it?
about parasites.
No, no,
Just
no,
help. As it's helping our osmoregulatory system. So you're de-stressing them. Young koi hate cold. So by raising the salinity, you're giving the kidneys a break. You're giving them more energy to fight parasites or bacteria or whatever. It's something you generally, if you're rearing young fish and they're unheated, you need to be doing it.
Dino and the Bambino.
Dino the Bambino needs a haircut.
Let me just check
Don't
your
be
eyes.
jealous.
Forgot to put it
Dead
on
quick
there.
one. Dead quick one. You listening?
Do you want me? I've got the fish ready. If you would like me to bring it on.
No, dead quick one, right? Why would I buy Japanese fish or Israeli fish or fish that are a fortune when the majority of people that come to our house haven't got a clue about
him
fish?
off. Get him off.
Why would I? They haven't got a clue. Me bird's half fella or me bird's uncle or me mate turns up and go, that's a belter fish, that. It could be out of anywhere. So the majority of people who come to ours haven't got a clue. Isn't that right, Baba?
That's brilliant, Dino. Right?
Yeah.
I don't buy my fish for other people to know what they're all about.
Sound.
I buy them because I enjoy them and nothing more.
Yeah, that's sound. You crack on. You spend your dough like that out, and you know, good luck to you. I'm just
You're
saying.
right, though. You're
just
right.
saying.
The average person wouldn't. It's like somebody's put a comment in there. How would you know if you've got a belting koi? Well,
I wouldn't
as
unless
you
Danny
progress
tells
within
me.
if you progress within the hobby, then you do, don't you?
I don't know whether
I
I've
mean-
got a half decent fish or a shite one. Most of mine are shite. I've got the odd ones that are sound.
That's for many good fish.
To be
away.
fair, that's how
To be
we've
fair,
been
that's
in
how most
business
of us
30 years, haven't we? At least 30, more than 30 years. And we sell to the people that are coming into the industry, coming into the hobby, because they like the yellow one, they like the blue one, and then they learn, and they like the coloured one and the pattern one, and then they what's the sparkly one, and they go into it. And then we send them off to Crafties or Gary's or wherever if they want a Tancho shower that's 28 inch and they go there. And some of them go, that's what I wanted. And some come back and go, I'm not paying that. And that's the
That's
hobby.
usually me.
That's the
To
hobby,
be
mate.
fair, my whole life, my dad had a koi pond, and we used to go every summer because half of them would die through the winter. And we'd just go and pick the ones we liked. Couldn't have told you what they were, what names on any of them. And they were just nice fish, and you know, some survived, some didn't. You buy new ones next year, and there was nothing wrong with that.
And
That's what I do.
And there still
Not
isn't, though, is there? There still isn't.
Yeah. A lot of people
Everybody
still do
starts
that.
there. It's just whether or not to take it to the next. People just keep.
There's a level. You know, I've spent more money on a fish than people spend on a car, but that's probably insanity. But you know, not everyone's going to do that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's you know, it's an extreme hobby, but some people want to spend 4 or 5
Buy
pounds on
some
a fish.
cheap
Right.
ones too.
See you later. She's kicking off.
I think. Becky just said then, Becky's next to me, so we used to work in a dog rescue. People that spend more money on a dog than, you know, most people are doing in a year. Is that
See,
ludicrous?
yeah,
It each to their own, isn't it?
You're right there with that, because you know some people wouldn't think twice at spending $2.5-3 grand on a dog.
Mate, I know people who were spending 50 grand on dogs during lockdown when they were breeding them. 50 grand on a dog, do you know what I mean?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
Different
the one.
outfit.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I find myself now.
And that's right.
I
That's
want
where
to progress
a lot of
more and
people
get better
find-
quality fish,
But
than what I've
that's
had in the
not
past,
everyone.
because I'm no longer happy looking at a fish that Dino says, my average friend that comes round's not got a clue. I have got a clue now. Now I know what I'm looking for, and better fish, better quality. I want to see those better fish, better quality in my pond. And then I want to increase and improve my pond and my filtration and everything else. I think it's a hobby that once you get in, you steadily start to roll downhill. You learn more, you absorb more around you, and you think,
Because we all watch YouTube, we all read the magazines, and we look at them dream koi and think, I wish I could afford that. So we buy the next best thing, what we can afford, don't we?
that's it. Which is
It's
better than where you started
category dream,
originally.
if you like, isn't it? Buying it young and hoping that it's going to turn into this unbelievable koi, and it's that dream.
It's,
Yeah, you think you're gonna.
it's unique though. That's what a lot of people miss. You buy a dog, right? And it's a nice dog, and you pay for your nice pit bull, you pay for your Labrador, whatever. It's a nice dog. It's a pedigree dog. It doesn't change into a better pedigree dog, does it? But if you pick the right koi, it can become better than what you started with. You can't buy a car that gets better. You can't buy pretty much anything. Maybe a tree, you could buy a nice acer and you can develop it, but it doesn't. But a koi can change massively. If you pick the right fish for 10 quid, it can become a fish that's worth £1,000.
And on top of that, Rick, you can change stuff that you do to achieve better results as well. You can't do that with a dog.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
there's a level of your own intervention. There is a thing what I don't like about the koi hobby when people think they're buying an investment. I don't think for the majority of people you're investing into koi.
That's what people
I
buy
bought
to
this
do.
fish, it cost me 50 quid, and in 4 years' time it's going to be worth $4,500.
Yeah,
in
all
your
of mine do
dreams,
that.
in your dreams. If you get 50 quid back for it, you've done well. You know what I mean?
I've seen some fish in for sale quite late, and there is there's a Telegram group where some fish are sold on, and I've seen some prices in there on some fish today, and I thought, yeah, they're damn nice fish. You ain't getting $4,000 from that.
Koi are worse than cars for depreciation.
Yeah.
As soon as you take them out the shop, boom, gone.
That's where we differ, Crafty. Mine starts so cheap, there's only one way it's up.
like a nice wine. Keep it cooked and it gets better.
And you can buy a fish and you could buy it cheap and you might make a little bit of money on it, but you're not buying it to appreciate in value. It's not that type of thing. It's if you pay 50 quid or you pay 50 grand, it doesn't matter. The chance is you're not going to get a lot back for it.
But you're not buying. Surely, you're not buying it to get money back, unless you're a dealer that's trying
I think people do believe this. I think people do think, because I see on UK koi owners a lot, how much are these worth? I think not on to anyone really.
But most of the questions when you get asked that kind of thing, it's a mutt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think, mate, it won't worth note when you bought it, but it's definitely not worth note now.
People have the opinion because it's big, it's worth a lot of money. Yeah.
But the fact is, you can buy, if you buy fish carefully, they will improve. Most things won't improve.
For the right people in the right circles, that's very true.
No, if in smaller scales, but if you know what you're doing and you've learnt your craft, you can buy a fish for 50, 100, 200 quid that will get better. As it grows, it will improve, and that's what you're trying to do.
Ricky Stoddart is a good example of that.
Well, that's what he does. It's his business. He's buying fish, improving them, and selling them at a profit.
You get a lot of people on the show seeing who do this, don't they? They show the fish, and they might win the award, might think it's not going to get any better, so they sell it on, and they might make a few quid because it's won an award or whatever. But it's few and far between. Most people who've got fish in the garden are never going to make profit.
No, that's not why you do it. But it is the difference between most hobbies that you're paying something that develops or can develop in a positive manner. I'm saying can. 99% don't, and that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Good evening, Tony.
Hi, yeah.
Good evening, Tony.
Tony, your t-shirt's matching your wall, mate.
I know, it's good, isn't it? It's like having a green screen.
If you stood up, you'd just disappear.
I hope you've all got your lists ready for Christmas.
No, I don't believe in you.
I'm
I
going to
don't
call
believe
him
in you, Tony. I'm
out
sorry,
in the
mate,
comments.
but you are a mythical object.
With my hand.
You haven't.
Tony, look at that, mate.
Good evening. I'm Colin.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rick's going to be having a nightmare before Christmas. Oh,
You
Mate.
ought to see my house. My wife loves Halloween. It's bloody everywhere. The damn
I've
stuff.
got so we had EA down the shop yesterday. They've got some nice new products being launched in this. One of them is a UV that's capsulated inside a Tempest filter, and it looks fucking stunning. And it's something worth looking at. It's redesigned, and it looks good.
and you need somebody to sample and test one for you.
Yeah, we do.
We do, yeah, that's right. Just the whole thing like glows.
I've got one set up that would be ideal to just, transpose the new one where the old one is. Perfect.
It's they go up to 60 watt UV power. I was doing a little bit of research.
Sorry.
Doing a little bit of research, and the flow rates seem to be quite good. And they actually suggest that you should UV after a Tempest. Now, a lot of us have put Tempests on after UVs. And that's down to the fact that it takes more fines out of the water, so the UV's penetration more of the water than what it is the particles that go through it. So I look more into it, but I think it's a good idea, and it's something I'm definitely going to be looking at. Although I've just put, I think, what am I on now? 185 watts UV power.
Yeah.
185
you should always
watts.
take the bulk of the crap out before you UV it.
Man.
Shouldn't you?
That's more than my whole shed.
I've got 75 watt, and then I put a 110 on, and I just left the 75 watt on as well.
That's my heating bill, Crafty.
Yeah. So technically, you're not heating your pond. You're just you're warming it up with UV bulbs.
Yeah. It's 85 degrees.
Quick question then, right? This was one that we missed last week from Daz because unfortunately what we went into last week as well. Do any of you know, and does anybody out there know, does blanket answer treatment affect koi eggs or fry?
No,
I think, as far as I
Got
know,
a clue.
blanket answer is inert. It's a natural material. I don't think it does anything to any form of living.
It's not meant to, according
But
to
I don't know
the
about the
is it?
egg side of things. I think it would be fine myself personally, but
We've used it in fry ponds and stuff. I wouldn't use it if you can get away with it, but it's had no negative effects that I've seen. But unless you've got a massive blanket problem with fry, because the blanket will kill your fry pretty much as quick as. So yeah, you stop between a rock and a hard place then. So
Yeah.
for us,
when you see it this length, does not this length.
yeah.
Trouble is, it goes from that length to that length in about a week.
It does in your polytunnel, mate. It really does. It's
I
crazy.
haven't
Man.
had any blanket weed at all this year. None.
It's like that.
Lucky man. Do you want some, Tony?
No, thank you.
You got it same in yours as well, Tony.
Mate, my pond fucking it's the worst, man. I've always had issues with it. Always.
See,
Maybe you
what
should
I-
try turning the UVs off and let it go green.
Is it south
I've done that.
facing?
I've done that as well, Rick, man. That's why I upscaled to another 110.
All
And
right.
that's
That's
it,
the other-
done the job.
Incinerate it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I haven't had the UV on all year either.
Is your pond south facing though, Crafty?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is. And that seems to be the killer.
It is, mate. I get so much sun on
Move
my
your house.
Yeah. I'm going to build a giant umbrella to put over it.
That's it. You just want a
Really
big
good
set.
front garden.
Just wants a big sail over it, doesn't it, to block some
Yeah.
sunlight.
It don't make a fucking difference, mate. Just
Going
like-
back to the question, it's probably safe. I'm going for Little John's room.
Yeah.
Probably that. I don't know which one I'm going now. But yeah,
As long as you know
safe
where
with
you're
eggs,
going
safe
for a
with
pee.
fry. Don't use it unless you have to.
Right.
See,
I
I
used
only
to have-
use it when I see it starting to grow. If I see it starting to grow, like I said last week, Dad, I think I'm starting with blanket weed. And I normally bang one treatment in, but when I do it and it's that length, I only put a half the dosage in. Put half the treatment in and it's gone. Done straight away.
I used
Never
to have
had it.
loads of blanket weed years ago, but I don't know whether it's right or not, but the older my pond's got, the less blanket weed I get.
No, Tony, it's all them fish you've put in. They've ate it all.
Wow, that's good if they do. I mean,
I even done that. I even put free grass carp in to trim it back.
Yeah.
They don't eat it though, do they? They don't do it. They don't twitch it, do they?
They get reliant on pellet.
Yeah. And they smash up for pellets just as fast as rest. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
having said that, I do get a little bit of like furry green stuff all around the walls early in the year, which is fine. And I do bang one treatment in at the beginning of the year, and that's it.
That's what I do, Tony. Beginning of every season, normally, if it starts to kick off and starts to come, I just think, right, one treatment in, half treatment, half dose, and it works, man. It's gone. 2-3 days, boom, and it stays gone for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Mine comes, even after a treatment, mine comes back within another week or so. It starts developing again.
I have to treat about 3 times a year for mine.
I know a lot of people say that blanket weed answer makes a lot of, mess, leaves. They don't like having their water cloudy for 2 or 3 days, but if you use clay, you're going to get that anyway. If you use that, if you put clay in once a month or whatever, you're going to do that anyway. So I don't see the difference.
But I do that as well religiously, mate, and it makes no fucking difference using clay.
Daz, what I want to know is, did you supply Anthony with some?
What, blanket weed?
Has he got some of the perfect strain? Is that what it is?
Quite possibly, yeah.
You're never going to get rid of it then, mate. Sorry.
It's a hybrid mutant strain.
Yeah. Tino says she's settled down now. She's a big GKP fan. What's she called? What's your daughter called? We should have asked. It will be a full dose now. Yeah, see, that's the difference, mate. Now it will be a full dose. 1 tub of the tall one. I think is it 1 kg or what? I don't know what the size tub is. But that now will treat my pond twice. That's it.
Not cheap either.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I have to put 2 kilos in mine to treat.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, Tony, when you've got deep pockets and big ponds.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What you could do is put more fish in there. There'd be less water for it to grow in.
Yeah. Actually, they're enjoying it in there. I've done some underwater footage today.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Today? No, I saw
no,
your
today,
fish.
it was yesterday.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd loaded it, but there's a lot of space in there still with the
Yeah.
We did see one
If
gap.
you like being a sardine. On a serious note, though, Tony, you've got one big fish in there with a bit of a growth, haven't you? How old's that fish?
I had her 32 years ago, and I reckon she might have been 2 years old when I had her, so she's probably about 34.
So she's an old girl then. So has she always had that lump then?
She had the growth very soon after I had her. Yeah, I got close to euthanizing her because I thought, it's cancer or something. But she carried on quite happy, and so I didn't. She's been happy ever since.
There's no.
Years later, she's still going.
Still going.
Yeah, she's a happy fish.
Yeah, I've got a kahaku like that big lump on its back, but that's at least 12 years old and still keep going.
I would have called it.
She's not a beauty or anything.
Me too.
But it's like having a
Put that
friend
across
who's
the
dead.
line.
On both counts, Crafty, I would. But that's just me. No, there's a few in there that I would, in mind now, that I would. Just for looking at them. Some people think that's a bit harsh, but my dad says he's going to have them, so they're going to go around there. But I mean, yeah, make room for things that I do want rather than keeping and feeding stuff that I've got no interest in.
Harsh.
Yes, it's very harsh in Yorkshire, mate.
I've got two large blackfish that you can't normally see unless you put underwater camera and you can see them, but from above you can't see them in the pond. I wouldn't mind getting them out of there. And I know people say it's lucky to keep one, or so the Japanese say one. Well, I got a small one that can stay in there.
Well, you see, the Japanese reckon that you're supposed to have one which is supposed to soak up all the bad juju.
That's just marketing, isn't it? Get
bollocks.
rid of fish.
That's trying to sell blackfish.
If you look into, if you research it, that's supposed to be. They're supposed to have one to, you know.
Yeah.
Michael Sparks, don't do anything yet, mate. I'll just give you my thoughts on that in a minute.
Have we got questions? I haven't got the comments again.
Yeah, I am.
I'll be looking like that. Yes. I think we need to make a blackfish with like isotopes in it so you can see it glowing in the dark.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, I need prime, that glow dark prime.
Yeah. Most really dark fish, though, I mean, they're great if you've got a window, but they're not very good if you haven't and you're just looking down on them.
Yeah.
Feeder's just going off. Must be 10 o'clock. Bloody, I'll tell you, it's getting earlier and earlier.
No, I've got a few fish in there that I really do want to keep. I've got a few fish in there that I want to. Well, some I'm going to give my dad. Little ones that have not grown, not really done a great deal, and they were just a bit of fun. Daz wanted just to see what they became. Yeah. So I'm going to drop them round, and they're going in my dad's pond. He's just going to wake up one morning, they're going to be there. And then
for Kahaku as well.
my dad had he did lose a couple of a day, and the same thing. He had a pH crash in his pond, well bad. We got it sorted, got it under control, but he lost. As it happens, he lost 2 Shisuis. You know the old style where they were real dark blue ones. They were shit ugly things. I had them. So and I said, look, Dad, I don't like these fish. I don't like them all. You want them, you can have them. And he took them, but unfortunately, they'd grown to a decent size as well. But unfortunately, he lost 2 of them and his Yamabuke. So he's down a few fish. So I said, that's all right, mate. I've got a few of the perfect fish that you can take. You can have for free. One of them's a crappy whack, but you'll love it.
I've got auctions, mate. You can buy some of them.
He's got some what?
I've got auctions coming up. He can buy some of them.
Oh, he could, but yeah.
Gaz has filled his pond with
I'm filling his pond, mate. He ain't got room.
Okay, well you can buy.
I had Rocket Boy round the other day.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I'll give him something to do, so I got the Colombo test kit out and said, "Go on, Dave.
Test me waters.
You can test all me waters." And it's a funny thing. He said, "What do you expect your pH to be then, Tone?" I said, "Well, 7.5 usually." He said, "No." He said, "It's 8.5." And it's funny. He tested my 2 tanks in the greenhouse and the Tozai tank, which has got a cover on it, and they was spot on 7.5. So we came to the conclusion it was the big rainstorms we've had just lately. I mean, we've had it tip down. And I mean, that pond is the only thing that's out in the rain. So do you think that's what it was?
What, alkaline rain?
I don't know.
It's probably the algae in your main pond. You got the UV on or not UV on?
Well, I haven't got any algae in my pond.
That's my dad's. It's the same. Crystal clear. It's crystal clear, his pond. Yeah. But we have had absolutely shit tons of rain. But nothing wrong with mine this time. My last one was down to my cock up for letting the KH drop off like it did. But I think my dad's has done the same. I think my dad's KH has just dropped, and then pH is spiked, and ammonia's spiked, and nailed them.
My KH was 6, so that's all right.
God, my dad's weren't.
The pH went up from 7.5 to 8.5.
That's still acceptable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fine. But it's not normally that.
pH of 2 in my dad's.
2?
That's very low.
That's vinegar, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that on your chips.
That's how bad it was, mate. And he's like, I thought when I tested mine and I see now how green my ammonia were, when I see my dad's, it was blue. I was like, I've never seen this as bad. Everything should be dead, man. Everything should have been dead. And these were particularly the biggest fish, the bigger fish in there were, yeah. Michael Sparks had, Rick, do you do days where people can get involved for the regular Joes?
Only through koi clubs or through yourself or Vince or people. We're trying to get too involved.
Is this where we set up another function?
Yeah. Generally not. It's something to do. Yeah, if a koi club's come in or a YouTuber channel wants to do a thing, we can accommodate people to a point. Like a Christmas open day, guys.
Christmas open day. We're doing Christmas Day.
So you need Father Christmas.
Anything to get out of the house on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, mate. Alan, how do I send pictures in the videos to the appreciate? Same as I said like every week, and same as I said to you last week when you asked the same question. Post them into the Facebook group, mate, in the section of... in fact, I shall show you. We shall make this easy.
Yeah, let's do it. Are we not doing it?
Let's do the koi appreciation.
I've still sent mine to your Telegram, Gaz.
I know, Tony.
So have I, Tony.
We'll just make the announcement, dude.
Yes, of course you can, mate. Yeah, 100%.
Right, so just for the record, not this Saturday, but week Saturday, we are starting our auctions off at at Perfect Aquatics. It's going to be run at 6 o'clock on a Saturday through Crafty Koi's channel or Perfect Aquatics YouTube channel. We are also going to be doing a couple of auctions on Gaz's channel on a Thursday night as well. I've sent you an email, Gaz, with one of the fish that we're going to do next week. So just to get everyone involved, I just thought I'd put it out there, plug it, let you guys know, and then next Thursday I'll give you a reminder when we drop a couple of fish on here for auction if you're interested. So we'll go through all the other prelims and stuff next week with regards to delivery and all that sort of overwintering, etc., etc. So I don't know if you can show one of the fish, Gaz, if you can get it on.
I certainly can.
I mean, if it's a goshki and we can slate it.
It's not a goshki.
It's not a goshki,
no, it's not allowed.
Starting price on my two goshkis tonight is 150.
Crafty, I like the koi talk behind you.
Like that, mate.
Nicely placed.
I should have a fish in there on this issue, mate, but I didn't put it in.
That's all right. I got an advert in there. It's fine.
Okay, so Omasako, Shiro, beauty little fish. So that's going to appear next week. I ain't going to give any prices. I want people
30 cm.
Yeah, good 30 cm. Real killer fish. Actually, there's a lot to do, but it's gonna go at a decent price. So if
Let it
you
roll
like
through
it,
again.
I
See if it measures itself for us.
Nearly.
But we're going to be doing Omasako,
30 cm.
Sakai, Dainichi, Koda, loads and loads of different varieties, different breeders, etc., etc. So, you know, Tozai.
Going on Nisai.
Going on Nisai. But it's still Tozai.
Depends who you ask. That's it. It's a fine line.
Let's not get that. It's listed as Tozai because it was Tozai when I bought it.
Perfect.
Cheers, Rick.
Sorry.
So there we go. The first of the koi appreciation from Jigs.
Very nice.
Well done, Jigsy. That's a good fish, man.
It's nice. It looks better in the water, surely.
Yeah, where's it?
That water's so clear, you can't tell it's not actually suspended in water. That's what it is.
Alan, if you go onto his Facebook channel, there's a link there.
Oh shit! Sorry, Alan. Yeah, my bad. Let's. I'll just quickly bring that back up for you, mate. We can show you.
I thought you'd done it, guys. Sorry, mate. My bad.
There you go. If you go into the Facebook group, each week you will see that I post a little post like this, which says, "Good evening, all. What topics would you like to discuss?" If you post in there, you will see, like everybody else has done this week, where they've posted
I wondered
all
where
the
that
pictures of
comment
the
come
fish
from.
for us to have a
we're
look
gonna
at and
preview
appreciate
that.
this evening.
Nice.
So there are a few that we will be getting onto shortly. In fact, we shall go back to what we was having a quick look at. Not that one. God damn it. That one. So there's the first one this evening. That is Jigs's. I think that's a nice fish, that.
Very good.
Is nice. Just an off chance. Why don't people just put, not on this, but when they're selling fish, date of birth? We don't have to call it toast, or anything. We could just say date of birth, June 2022.
Like they do for every other spined animal in a pet shop.
Perfect. Let's do that. Check my website out.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
There you go. We don't copy Rick though.
All right. That's a nice gimmick. I like that.
It's nice, that one, Jig. Very good. Now, this is one that Dino shared, and he wants us all to just say what we think about this fish. Not particularly, he didn't have one, but he wanted his opinion on it. So
Well, it's
let us
not
know what you think,
is it?
guys.
It's a nice kikakuru. Well, yeah, but it's still, yeah. Female.
Good pond fish.
White.
Nice colour. Good.
Gunmetal grey.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, mate. That's all right.
Yeah, quite nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've enjoyed looking at it. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice fish,
Nice
isn't it?
I said that to somebody the other
got a
day.
good
got
body
slapped
shape,
round
hasn't
the
it?
face.
It has,
Nice
yeah.
fish.
Yeah, it's got a nice fat peduncle.
So this would be. I shall let you talk us through this one, Daz.
Well, I don't even know what it is.
it's not a goshki.
It looks a bit like a goshki, but it's more a sargi, I think.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's the sargi esque.
Yeah, you tell me, Rick. I ain't got a clue.
Well, it looks like you've crossed an asagi with a goshki or a kahaku, doesn't it?
That's what I thought.
That's what you read it.
It was in a mixed spawn, though, so I have no idea.
It's nice. It's nice, though, isn't it?
That's another one. There's loads of them.
Yeah, very
That's
pretty.
the one that I've got. I've got one like this as well, but mine's just got a red head and a blue body.
This is how they started to produce goshki. This was the whole dream of an asagi with a kahaku pattern.
Let's sell.
And you've like literally gone back to the original base plan.
You know what, mate? Let's sell.
Vince said, Ricky, that you had a few of them yesterday.
Not quite. Yeah, similar. Not quite.
Weren't they? Yeah.
But yeah, that's nice. It's
What would be nice about this one for me would be to see how that Benny development goes,
Yeah.
whether it falls off or comes stronger.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
definitely coming stronger from
Is it
what that
coming
was
stronger?
before. It's coming up stronger, and it's got stronger and stronger, especially around the head.
And the reticulation as well. It'd be nice to see how that kind of great effect comes, whether or not the scales darken out on individual lines or whatever. It'd be a nice learning fish, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
As Jig says there, it's like the original Goshki.
I think that'd sell.
Yeah.
you look nice, Daz, mate.
I don't know why this one.
That one keeps popping up. Who's
I don't
this?
know why that one keeps popping up. It doesn't even exist. It's not in the file. I don't know why. Dino, your fish has infected my PC. Well, look, it's not there. Look, how does that fish come up? It's not even in that file. Look, it's empty. Yeah,
It's a
well,
ghost in the machine.
A ghost carp.
you sent me a little virus, didn't you? A little Trojan horse. Is that where all my cash has been going out my bank account? So let's have a look at these ones then. Right, this is our first one, which I think is an absolute belter, man. Tony Barker's. This is lovely.
Not Tony.
Tony again.
Me.
Look
He's a
at that.
That's nice.
Flipping heck. That is nice, man. That's nice.
It's got a body on it, hasn't it?
It's got a beautiful body shape, but it's a little bit dark for my liking.
Does a bit pointy on the nose.
Yeah, possibly a bit dark, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's
I mean,
not in
that
that fish,
Goshki
right?
that we saw at the show, the Newark show, man. That one was like pure black with floating red benny, and that was stunning, that fish.
And that's natural for goshki. You know, they darken.
Yeah, I prefer the Jigsy one out of the two.
Yeah, I mean, that was Ginrin though.
Yeah, I love Ginrin though. That's just me. Sparkly.
Yeah, that's good.
It's nice, mate.
Yeah,
That's
it's a good
nice.
fish.
Yeah,
It's nice. Nice clean pecs.
That's
I prefer that though.
That's
Yeah,
better, isn't it?
Oh,
me
mate,
too.
look at the skin on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at luster on it.
got a better body as well.
A lot better body.
Are we going to just stop here and say that's the winner?
That's what I did.
There haven't been as many sent in. I think the goshki is not as a popular a fish as what I thought it would be, but that is good, man.
That is proper job.
That's
Now
Is
then,
that
do you-
Tony Parker's as well?
Did you know that apparently I'm pretty sure it was Alan that I heard saying this, that the darker pattern, the robing pattern, develops from the base of the tail through to the head
Correct.
on a goshki.
Goshkis are quite, when they're young, they're hard to sell, especially when they're in their lighter form, because
Yeah, they don't look good at all when they're young, do they?
they don't. But people will buy a more finished Goshki when they're smaller, because they look more impressive because the belly sits right up on the fish. And it doesn't matter what I say to people, it's like, that is not the best fish out of them two, for example. That's the fish you should be going. They don't listen. And when they get to a certain point, it sort of greys out in patches on their head before it starts to go really black. And it makes the fish look quite ugly. So they're really hard to tell when they're young.
Yeah, they always look a bit scruffy to me when they're young.
They are, some of them.
Yeah. Is that a goshki?
That's like a Goshki Sankey, mate. It's a bit odd, but it's
Yeah.
pretty immense.
Yeah.
Some
Who's that,
chunky.
Tony again?
Yeah, it looks like he's had a little bit of something there, but obviously that's healing up, whatever it was.
got some
but,
shoulders on it.
yeah, it's got a hell of a body on it again, hasn't it?
It's a bit too white, isn't it? There's too much shiroj on that fish. I might be wrong. It still might be developed, but it's not what I expect to see.
This is a picture of the tan show showing its development.
There you go. That says it all straight away. Exactly what I was looking for, you know.
I like the middle one.
That's
I like
exactly
the
what I
last
was
one, mate.
saying.
That's nice.
Trying to sell that fish on the left against one that looks like the one on the right.
Yeah.
You're in different ball games.
You got to know what you're looking for, and you got to know how that fish is going to develop to appreciate what that's going to become.
Yeah,
I quite like the one on the far left. At the top. That one, yeah.
but you know that's what you're up against, and that's where the knowledge comes in. You know.
That was something when we were down at Rick's and we were grading them out, like when we were seeing these goshki in here, and like,
Where?
Yeah.
well,
Did they look
nothing
anything
like
like
what I
goshki?
imagined them to be like. The
No.
colours, no, they ain't red. There
They're
is
like a yellowy colour.
They look like yellow, more like a yellowy mustard. I was like, no way, these ain't
Yeah,
goshki.
yellow brown when they're small.
Yellow
They tend to
brown,
find they go. The background tends to go from the left to the right. Yeah, that's what you expect. And then as they get older, it goes back lighter but more reticulated, and you get. Yeah, everyone expects them to get darker, but they don't. They get to a point and then they go the other way. But the Benny stays pretty good. But yeah, that's a nice. Just to see that progress is banging.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's nice that I'm seeing that people do that. That's where you share your knowledge. You know?
Rob Howarth.
Another Tancho.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice coda. We've had some banging coda fishing this year.
Yeah.
Nice shape, but the body colour's not so clever, is it?
No, it's still got development to go though, isn't
It's pearl scale as well.
I was
though.
just going to say that. Yeah, you can just see it glistening. Yeah.
it? You see, it falls off a little bit just behind the Tancho spot, doesn't it? You see,
Yeah.
That's quality would reduce somewhat in the show, but overall, you know, still a
Look at those
banging
4
fish.
rows of pearl scales on its body though. Look.
Yeah.
quite sought after, that Pelgin ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Cadogin or Pelgin? I can't see from that.
Looks like pearl to me.
Look back pearl to me.
Pearls. This one's Sally Harfield's.
Is it Tancho Goshki
I'm
week?
going to
or
say there's
what?
a lot of tan shows. Yeah.
When we did tan shows, any type of tan shows, where were all these fish?
You know, again, that's a nice quality little koi, isn't it?
Nice.
Yes. Very
Two-
dark though. See
But
the.
technically, that would be classed as a maritime because it's got red feathered back down the
It has
body as
got
well, hasn't it?
a little bit of Benny on the side though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
a
look
bit
how
towards
that
the base of the
dark
tail
background
as well,
makes
but-
that. Look at the dark background makes that belly spot really stand out.
Yeah.
It's again, loving the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
A bit slim in the head compared to the others, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Younger fish again, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to change much though. That.
It's only 30 cm, that.
Yeah, the head's not
Yeah,
going
but
to
the
change.
head's not going to get wider.
No, it's not going to get the width to the head like Alan was saying. Too thin, too narrow.
Fucking pissing it down here now.
Ross Jacobs, free grow-ons. That koi guy.
I'll tell you what, Hero, I've been impressed with. I hadn't really had much to do with this fish, but this year we had some in, mate. When they go well and all. So, nice. That top one's nice.
Nice free step, that one.
That bottom one's nice too, eh?
They're nice. The trouble is hooded.
Heavy on the head, though, that
the
one.
full head patterns are a problem. The body
Right,
shape of the
that
one
one.
without the head patterns is a bit plump
There you
behind the pecs.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That's the best one at the top there, but
That bottom one's saved on the head pattern. Comes up over the eye. So
saved.
That's the best one. Pattern-wise, anyway.
be nice, good learning fish though they'll be. For you grow up.
And this is Ross Jacobs as well. Nice.
Oh, that's different. Yeah.
That's like a
An old,
almost looks
that's
like a
old
gift.
style, mate.
yeah. That's what yours are going to become.
Old before their time.
Old.
Bit more water in your bowl next time,
It
chap.
almost looks a bit gingerish though, as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
That's what Goshki used to look like before they refined it into
Find
the
the floating
Benny.
bennies and stuff.
Yeah, to see the body properly, it needed more water, didn't it? 'Cause it's rolling on its side.
Probably got a lot of sedate in there as well.
It's nice, eh?
Yeah.
That's an old school.
Phil Lambert's.
Yeah, like a nice underwater shot.
Again, it's like a full head though as well, and it's a problem with Goshki. They do tend to have a full. He's got some nice little fish in there, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty
Saved
big.
again though, mate, with the way that it cut up onto its eye. So, that would define the head pattern. Believe it or not.
Really?
It's not as deep. It's not as deep on the body further back though, is it? Look, in the colour, pigmentation.
Yeah, from the head to the body, it won't be though, mate, because of the fact that it sits on skin and not on bone. So, but then if you look at the bit in the tail, the palate changes somewhat.
Yeah.
Cool little fish though, man. There's a few in
He's
there.
got some nice fish in there.
There's some
not
nice fish in there. This is why he likes to put them on display through the window as opposed to a bowl, because he can show them all.
Yeah.
Technically, he can enter every competition with one photograph.
Fair play though. It's a nice little mix in there.
Yeah.
Water's looking good too. Nice and clear.
Simon Shears.
Okay, it's exactly what I was saying about the development. See how brown it is on the head. as it goes through that transition.
Oh yeah.
You know, again, that'll be, as that black pigment starts to break through, that robin will make that fish when it comes.
That being, where's that from? Does he know the breeder? Because
Simon, do you know the breeder of that fish, mate? Let's see if it says on the notes. I don't know if it did or not.
that's not like a normal.
40 cm from the TBR, the Balding Reefer. So that's got to be a Polish one then.
Yeah, it's not like a normal goshki, is it? The way that Sumi sits on it is.
No.
Well, unless it's from his growing show.
No way.
Or 40 cm, it'd be about that size by now if it was from the growing show. Would
Not
be.
likely. No.
Well, no.
16 cm and it would have been 12 months.
He bred it
16
from
and a
his
half
shed.
cm. No, it didn't, they didn't grow at all.
But that's like it's got something else in it, and it's like a, don't know, goshki shower, or it's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Different.
That, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Benny plate's really good.
I'd agree.
Dino says he's the breeder.
He bred it in his shed, he said.
Oh, damn it. Sally Hartfields.
No, chose again, isn't it? All right.
Now, Sally, is that the one? Is that the one that you got back from that was looking a bit on the ropey side when it was a bit ill?
I'd like to know if they're Coda.
This little one here. That's the one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Sally watch live, Gaz?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, pretty little fish.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I do like that one though. The middle one there, then, or the bottom one now, more than the two tanchos.
It's got Coda written all over it. That.
Can you read Gimrin?
You could just sort of, the amount that we had. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Made in Japan.
Don't start that again. Right.
All right. That's the same. Oh,
Same ones.
same ones, isn't it? Same ones, different video.
Ones.
We'll play them anyway. A little bit closer. I hope that one of those two tanchos is the one that she had that has definitely come on leaps and bounds from how it looked earlier in the season, if it is. Because it looks like it might be this one. Top one now. If you remember, we had one when it was shading the
Tancho, it did look skinny and ropey.
yeah,
Yeah, it did. You know, like it
it
was
had a
going to
little
make.
bit of fin rot on its fin, and it looked a bit really under weather a bit, didn't it? If it's one of them two now, that's come on leaps and bounds. Jeff Lee says my two goshki are 35 cm. My goshki is no longer, mate. That was another one that developed sleeping cows disease. Right, so that's it for the Facebook group. So we should have the Telegram ones that we've had sent in. And we have yours, haven't it? Where the hell has it gone? There's his first one. Who's these from, Tony?
Well, I'm told they're Japanese. I don't know who the breeder is, but the dealer, the dealer was Maidenhead Aquatics in Milton Keynes.
They could be Japanese, mate. They do Japanese koi. Not all of them, but they do.
They was 7 cm when I bought them, and I think they're I can't remember now, 26 and 28. now. My daughter used to live in Milton Keynes, so every time I went up there,
You went shopping.
I just used to have a pop into that Maidenhead Aquatics, and these fish was in a vat for several weeks.
That Sally says
I don't even think they knew what they had, because when I said,
brilliant.
I'll have some of those goshkis out of that vat there, they said, well, you'll have to show us them because we don't know what they are.
That one,
So
Rick,
I went and helped myself.
One of those fish was the fish that looked particularly ill at the beginning of this season. So that's made a massive comeback, hasn't it? That's good to see that.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Quite nice.
I like the other one's better, Tony. Not that one.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah. Slightly better shape, but they're from the same spawn, aren't they?
I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the same.
Same shaped head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire them from. That's quite nice, though. That you only bought that for 7 centimeters. What did you pay for it? Tenner? Did you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Not. I think it was less than that.
Less than a tenner.
Mm.
There you go. You can't go far wrong. I like the slimmer one's quite nice. The fatter one's less
attractive.
Darker one's 26 cm.
So Tony Barker's like serial winner, isn't he?
28 cm.
Sounds like it. Yeah, that's where I'd go with the first one of Tony Barker's.
You was in this, Rick, weren't you?
Of course I'm in it, but it's an English fish, isn't it, mate? I've got like all of Japan to compete against.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice, though, mate.
He's nice, yeah.
It's not as good, is it?
I don't know. If I was going for a goshki, I would pick that.
Oh, cheers, Dad. No, I'll take that. We're winner.
I would. If all the ones tonight, I would pick that. That looks like a goshki to me, a classic goshki.
Oh, I'll take that. All right, I'll have that. But I'd swap that with Tony Barker's.
So how much is that one, Ricky?
How much is it? Maybe not for Tony. It's always there for you. That's the last male from that's the Mark Gardner line ones, but it's the last one I'm keeping as a parent. So it's an offspring of the ones. But yeah,
50 cm.
50. Yeah, just turned Sans Eye.
So I assume you know where the Mark
nice
Gardner
shaped head, though,
parent fish came from, do you, Ricky?
The Kano and Kaukami. Or Kawakami, some people would say that, but yeah, it's nice. I do like it, but I think Tony Barker beats it.
I suspect he went out there at the time and selected them himself, didn't he? I would think.
No, one was from Garrett Gatwick and one was from Koi Water Gardens, I believe.
Oh, that surprises me.
No, follow the path of them all, mate. Go know where they come from.
I did miss yours, Chris, you're right. And this would be Chris's. Chris Taylor's. I don't know if there's any more. Oh, there you go. There's another one of it.
It's nice. It's a little one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, hard to see.
That's always a bind, the old reflection, isn't it?
Yeah.
I put my bowl in the shed today to cut out the reflection. But to get them lit up, I had to use a flash gun on the stills.
That's going to make a really nice little fish, but typical Goshkin, it's probably going to make 40, 50 centimetre fully grown.
Yeah, don't get big, mate, do they?
The slow. Why is it that the goshki is such a slow grower and a smaller grower then?
Just when you're picking out fish that have got the attributes you want, they generally aren't going to be the biggest ones, and you breed them together, and before you know it, you created a miniature variety, or variety, or whatever. And it takes a big leap of someone to go, well, I'm going to cross that with something massive, and then ride out 2 or 3 years of no income to make something that's going to grow bigger.
So we're all in agreement.
Tony Barker wins it.
Yeah, Tony Barker. I think it was the first one.
I would have gone your fish, Rick.
Really?
Yeah, really.
As I love you for it, but mate, that beats that.
If I were picking that one for me, that's beautiful.
I want to be prejudiced and lie, but I can't. That beats mine.
No, not in my book.
Okay.
Don't do anything for me. That don't. I'm afraid.
Look at the quality.
I'm sorry, mate, but Daz has taken a mouthful of the harsh drinks this evening.
No, I'm just saying.
Bonus for you, Rick, because he's. Yeah, but that's the beauty of it, though, isn't it? That to me is the best one. I mean, if we're going to go for a tan show.
No, see, mine would be that one in my head, not the last one.
But not the tan show.
Oh, not the tan show, no.
That's the best tan show. But I do like yours, Rick. Yours is nice. When yours comes up a bit darker like that, then...
What are you doing?
No, I like it just the way it is. You keep it the way it is, Rick.
I can see myself. Cheers, Crafty.
Is that Rick in page 40, or is he centerfold?
Yeah, front cover, mate. That's mine, front cover.
Very nice.
Yeah, only.
Twist,
nice.
Vince says Rick's for me and with Daz. Yeah, that's a nice fish, mate. Definitely a nice fish, no doubt about it.
You're biased, Rick. I mean, not you, Rick. It's your bias.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Tony Barker.
Appreciation for this evening.
What's Tony Barker doing with all these trophies?
Well, I'm hoping he's going to look after them, polish them, and think fondly of them for years to come.
You have to return them at the end of the year, don't you?
He does, yeah. So they can be handed out again next year.
Just so you know, Jigsy, use my number 2.
Next week's koi appreciation will be any type of Ginrin fish. Koi.
Ooh.
Ginrin koi. So we're going Ginrin.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some pearl scales. Let's get some pearl scale belters in.
If you win 3 times in a row, aren't you struck out after that?
If you win 3 times in a row, you have to pay for the next trophies next year.
Yeah.
I think Tony Barker's got my Sankey one off of koi wholesale auction one day.
I think he has, mate. I think he's actually shared that with us once before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Goshki, Jig says he's shit. He kept the Goshki. No, you can still add to it again, mate. It's still good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another show class. Put it back in.
100%. Has anybody out there, as we have exhausted the topics and we have done the koi appreciation, is anybody out there that's got anything they would like to ask the panel? Or anybody want to come on and have a chat and a natter with us for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, or 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long we go?
Who knows? Quite nice.
Who knows? Anything you guys want to bring up, chat about, have a natter about?
I want to say thank you to Crafty for sending me a 28-page document or whatever. Oh, mate, that is some serious input you put for that.
Worked hard on that, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, you just cherry pick the good bits.
Mate, you do what you will with it, mate. It's there for you to do.
To be fair, 95% of it don't really apply. Well, not even. Quite a chunk doesn't apply to us, but it does. You've done a cracking job on that. That's how you should approach a pet shop license, isn't it? Yep. We need to know where to go in a fire in a pet shop.
the effort you have to put in.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
staff training's like, I don't know, mate.
You know, but at the same time, mate, even if some of it don't do anything for you or isn't relevant, it may ignite some sort of, oh shit, I might need to include that. You know,
But it all does, mate.
Subscribe.
To be fair, I don't get why now we have to have one when we haven't had to have one for so long. But I agree, we should have had to have one. It's mad.
Yeah, I think it's bizarre, mate. But you know, that's council's for you, dude. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. If you sell pets, you should have a pet shop license. I don't disagree with it, and the basics are simple.
Yeah.
I've got no issue with it.
I'll push back on a few things that were raised at the inspection. Like they asked me to keep names and addresses of everybody that we sold fish to. Now, bear in mind, we don't just sell koi; we sell marine fish and tropical fish as well. And it's like there's no requirement. So I actually went to the commissioner's information office, who regulate GDPR ruling, and what can and can't be used. Put it this way, they can't retract
you can't. No. But to be fair, we've had that before with CFAS, and at the end of the day, everything we send out's registered, so we know where it's gone.
Shouldn't that go against data protection though? Keeping hold of everyone's.
Well, that exactly. I mean, there has to be a legislation involved for the data to be held, and there is no legislation, so therefore there's no requirement to hold that information. So, unless they opt in, I mean, we do hold people's information, and it's very easy for us to work out who's bought what on the systems that I've got in place. So, but if they choose not to opt in, then you know that's on them. So if we do have to trace or track a fish, they're excluded on their choice. So you know, it's just the way it goes. But
check out dogs waiting to watch GKP. Oh dear. This is a quick one, guys. Can you identify that? What is that? Somebody's hoping it's a Kage Shuru Utsuri, but I don't believe it is. I believe it's some kind of a chiba myself.
It's not Kage, but it is. It's
metallic, isn't it?
No, there's no metallic in it.
No.
It's quite weird. It's just like a weird Shiratsuri that's
zoom in
underneath.
I bought not very long ago 2 Shiras from the koi collection. Any little fish. I can't remember who the breeder was of both of them, but
a stripe in each peck.
I like it, me.
One of them is holding its sumi very well. The other one's losing it, or will it come back to the one that's losing it?
Possibly. It's a bit early. Right?
Honestly, mate, that's a bit of a freak, isn't it? Because it's
it don't fit into any category.
It doesn't, is it? It looks a little Achibarish, and then it looks Shuru Utsuri-ish.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely not a Shiro, is it?
It's not Shiro.
King Shuru Utsuri, but
no,
there's no metallic, is there?
It's brown of the Achiba.
There's no brown. No, it's almost like a Shiro cross Goshki. So you got the bluey dark background, and then the sumi on top. But
I think it's quite nice.
Honestly, I don't know.
Somebody
Sort of thing. Vince would love it. Vince would be that's amazing.
Yeah.
But chances are that's only going to go 2 ways, isn't it? All black, or blue and black, and you won't really still see it.
But it looks brown on the nose, though.
Is there a side view of it, Gaz?
No, not really. Other than
There is
a little bit.
What to start with?
Excuse me.
Yeah, it looks really silver from side on, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's white underneath, isn't it? It's a
In the words of Sir Alan Tate, that's a pretty fish.
Sir Alan.
Sir Alan Tate, yeah, he got knighted
I didn't realise.
last Thursday.
not
Don't
not
know.
next
There you
Tuesday.
go, Sally.
See
Does
you
it
now.
matter? I don't think it matters as long as you like it. Or hubby bought it, hoping it might be a Kage Shuru Suri, but I don't think it is.
To be honest, I don't really know how Kage Shiratsuri start life, but I wouldn't expect it to look like that. To be fair,
No. Time will tell.
Right then, we got a question there.
where's the IPA
Michael
gone?
Sparks said, you mentioned not salting over winter. We've got lots of snow up here. And when we did not salt, I lost fish. Now I salt every winter and I've not lost any.
Bang the salt out.
Chris Taylor says, quick one for Daz. Axolotls are doing great with water changes. Daz, can I just use dechlorinated water in the tubs? So 100% water changes daily?
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
I'll let you into a secret. Daz doesn't use dechlorinated water.
But if you want to use it, use it.
Don't tell anybody.
Are they still in takeaway tubs?
No.
No. Way outgrown now.
All right. Checking.
They're in an 8 foot by 8 foot tank, about 3 foot deep. They're in my bloody quarantine tank. To get the buggers out.
Crafty,
There we
why have
go.
you got such a big TV on like the workbench behind you?
Put it on the wall, mate.
Put it on porn.
No, on the wall, mate.
We could all watch it if you did.
In the background, I'm sure Gaz would love that.
Jig
The
says they're in trifle
subscribers
tubs now.
go up.
Daz, they're all in trifle tubs now, aren't they? Like an upgrade.
Yeah.
They're all about this big now.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to sell them? Or are they
You're allowed to
Yeah,
sell them.
what he's going to do is he's got that many of them, Rick. Anybody that comes to buy any fish, they get to go on with one free
Yeah,
with
free
every
gift.
purchase.
Great.
I think they're cool, mate. They're proper cool. I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I got 4 of them out there at Mini Pond now.
Started
Phil's
with one.
Toy Shop says, Gaz sent you a vid and a question on your Facebook page. Well, you could have typed the question in here. Let's have a look, see what it was. Let's go there. Share screen. Right, so we've got a question on here. Guys, what do you think about? I think of the backy shower running over winter. Backy showers running over winter. A lot of people knock them off, don't they? Because it chill.
Yeah, you can insulate them in. You ain't gonna
Nice
get
fish
the
in there as well.
you ain't gonna get the air exchange, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Cover up if you. A lot of people have the backy showers running, don't they? But cover them up and box them up like Vince said he's going to do this time. Look at Will's tree there as well. Looks sweet, man. Boxing it in because all that you've got, that we're just going to say exactly Vince's had the what's it called, Daz? Baby's tear.
Oh, yeah.
What's its Latin name?
Raulia. Oh,
Sounds less Latin than what I imagined.
Is he showing us around his bar?
It's cool, isn't it? Mint.
That's the sort of garden I want to sit in. Little log burner, bar, pond.
When
Beer.
we're coming over, Phil. When's the invite? We can have sink some buds, get chimney going, get flames licking out the top of it.
Melting the polycarbonate roof.
Don't worry about your backy shower, mate. We'll be melting it with fire. When we run out of wood, we can always take chunks off your decking. It's nice, that, isn't it?
That wire bonsai look cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do, yeah. They all look good. Look at that.
He's showing off there, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, we even got a couple of glow-in-the-dark bats there as well. I like that, mate. It's nice.
Nice elephant head as well. Hope you didn't kill it.
Oh, sweet. There we go, Phil. Right, we'll see you next weekend, mate. Well, welcome anytime. See, I had one of these chimneys, and I got mine going that hot that I made the sides of it glow red.
I don't think that's supposed to be.
No, it wasn't supposed to happen, that does.
What
The
happened?
following
Did it
morning,
melt?
one of the legs snapped off it. But we had used to, if you get them going proper, and then stacking some wood and stack the wood in from the top, you can get the flames coming about 5-6 foot out of the top of it, man. It's wicked.
They're becoming incinerator then.
Birds like hell, mate. They're brilliant.
Jet engine.
Yeah, but
Put a load of small pieces on top, then drop a couple of long lengths in, and they just get whoosh going like crazy.
that's just what they're made for, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly
yeah.
what they're made for. And inside, they have a nice little shelf where you can wrap up about 5 or 6 layers, tin
Big
foil,
deals.
couple of Jackie Spuds in, jobs are good in.
Burn
Burn
them
the
to
shit
chuck
out of
the
everything, and
charcoal.
then you've got a bit of supper for later after you've had a bevy or two.
They're so cold at the bottom because of the air being drawn in. They're not even cooked.
I'm a little bit concerned because
Over
there's a
that, mate.
baby elephant's head on the wall.
Yeah.
And it's not baby, it's got big tusks, mate. It's a pygmy.
There we go, Daz. Look, they're coming on. There's
Oh,
the
they are.
axolotls.
Yeah. They spawned early though, because they don't normally spawn until Christmas.
Yeah, yours was December, wasn't they?
Yeah.
That looks like
Early
it'd be like a
December.
fish lice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's them about a CM or so now?
Yeah, I bet they'll be about a CM, yeah. Just like they're taking brine shrimp because the head's quite big on them.
Yeah, that's a decent sized one, isn't it? That's going to be chewing on his mates before long.
Yeah.
Daz's were chewing each other's legs off and stuff. Figured
Yeah.
them out then, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to, yeah.
It's cool
But
how they grow the limbs back, though. That's what gets me, is how they...
the funny thing is, when I put them in the big 8-foot square quarantine tank, not one single one attacked each other in there. Yeah, before they were chomping legs off left, right, and centre. Even though I got them on in decent sized containers,
That's
but it's
me.
just
Dog sat there. Dog sat
whose
there
dog's
waiting.
that?
Sally's. Dog sat there waiting for GKP to come on.
It's only
Looks
for
like
your dog running around at the front, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like a kangaroo.
he's watching our sonny running up and down in the garden. There we go. Oh, check this out, guys, as well. Get that looked at. Aaron's Humbercoy mega giveaway.
Is he giving away his son?
Yeah, he's giving away Leo. There is one other shout out I'd like to do this evening, and I know we've got, I don't know, hang about how many. We'll stop sharing that. How many? We've 77 people, and if you could do us a huge favour. What happened there? We've lost Crafter. Oh no, he's just turned his camera off. Colossal Koi. I'd like to give him a bit of a shout out. See if we can get him.
Yeah, great channel.
He's got some absolutely belting fish. Got a massive 50,000. Is it 50,000 litres?
It's like a swimming pool, isn't it,
It's
guys?
fucking huge. His garden is absolutely huge, guys. There's his link just being
The
posted
work
there.
that
Thank
guy-
you very much. Well worth a look at his channel. Well worth having
Yeah.
a look over his stock. He does also, I mean, obviously, he also has his own koi farm. He sells the fish that he breeds and grows on. So he's got his own shop, his own trading, his own business. Obviously, over in the States and everything, it's not going to be much good to people over here. But it's well worth having a look at, man. Definitely,
The work
good
he's
channel.
put into
Love the
rebuilding
bloke.
that pond.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was an epic, real epic effort, wasn't it,
it
guys?
was, man.
The
Absolutely.
tons and tons of stuff he put in. Jesus, just one man.
Yeah. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours doing it, Anna. but I can't believe it that his channel's as small as it is. So do us a favour, guys.
Great
Pop
website.
over, give him a sub, give him a thumbs up, give him a like, give him a share. Tell him we sent you over. Be greatly appreciated. I think he deserves to be having way more subscribers than what he's got.
I'm already subbed to him.
There we go. Good man. Thank you, Tony. And on that note, guys, just for me, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's encouragement for him. It keeps him sane. He enjoys doing what he's doing, and it's a journey that he's enjoying doing what he's doing. The amount that he's just done, the amount that he's just painted on his pond in a rubber liner, it's
concrete
unreal.
work. Jeez.
Absolutely unreal, the work that he did. He painstakingly went round with a hand chisel, chiseling off lumps of concrete and cement off this whole cemented pond, and then went round patching it and repairing it, and then gone back round and rubber lined it by painting 4 or 5 coats on it. 50-gallon drums that he was dropping in there, rolling them in, dropping them in, brushing it all on by hand. But man, it's unreal. Absolutely.
Liquid liner.
Yeah, liquid liner, yeah. Right then, guys, thank you very much all for joining us this evening. Thank you very much, audience, for coming and sharing us with your fish. Don't forget that next week's Koi Appreciation will be any kind of ginrin. Let's see some good ones. Let's hopefully see some pearl scales and stuff, man. I want to see some nice examples of some ginrin. If you've been enjoying this kind of content, guys, do us a huge favour. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. And until next week, catch you on the next one, guys. Keep smiling, all of yous, and we'll see you all soon. Take care and good night.
Good night. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night.